Hello and welcome to It's All Connected, the Marvel DC Star Wars recap show here on the Illuminerdi. I am one of your hosts, Bryce West, a writer and editor for the Illuminerdi.com, and these are our co-hosts.
What's up, guys? Richard Nevins here, another writer at the Illuminerdi. Happy to be here and got a good show to talk about.
Hey everybody, Caitlin Tyrrell, writer at the Illuminerdi. Yeah, we've got some fun Star Wars news. We're going to talk about Bad Batch, of course, and then some Andor stuff, which, as we know, is Bryce's favorite upcoming Star Wars show.
Yep.
We got some exclusives that we dropped this week in Marvel that we are going to break down, which will be awesome because that is legitimately one of the shows we're looking forward to most is What If. So I'm really excited to talk about that. We're going to talk some Doctor Strange, some Love and Thunder, and then I think there's another one that we're going to talk about that might be coming up this week. Right?
Yeah, just a little Disney Plus show nobody's ever heard about.
Yeah, Loki. We're going to be talking Loki and breaking that down for you guys, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And then DC's got a little bit of news. We had the awesome Shazam teaser, and we got some fun Flash Batman-y stuff going on. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun show.
Oh, yeah.
Let's dive right into the Bad Batch. I mean, that's what we've been doing, so let's get into it.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys do not know, we say it every week, so I'm sure you do at this point, we have a Star Wars watch-along where we are going through the Bad Batch every Thursday at 11:40 p.m. Pacific, obviously into Friday when we watch the actual new episode of the Bad Batch. Right now it is me, Richard, Josh, but next week I know it's going to be me, Josh, and maybe someone else. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. You guys should totally join because it is a blast. And this week we talked a lot of Star Wars stuff on it, which I know should be the norm, but we're getting there.
Yeah, those shows we go on tangents pretty often, but yeah, I'm going to be moving to the Loki watch along, which we'll talk about later. But still check out the Star Wars one.
I'll be on that still too, guys.
Yeah, and still check it out because it's a blast.
I'll plug it really quick before we move on. Our Marvel watch along with Loki starting Tuesday at 11:40 p.m. since Loki premieres on Wednesdays now, and it will be me, Richard, TC, and Brax. Same team as we have had for WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Loki's 6th episode, so we will be here for 6 weeks to watch this show with you guys. It's going to be a blast. Loki looks freaking hilarious and just exciting stuff, so we're excited to get into it.
Oh, yeah. No, it's gonna be a crazy show. We don't know a lot about it yet, or we sort of do, but we'll be getting into it later. We got a whole Loki recap planned.
A Loki lowdown, basically.
Yeah, the one that's happening. We will. I will figure out something to do for the Loki lowdown because that is way too good of a title to give to just let go by the wayside.
Right? Oh man, but yeah, I think what we know about Loki is Loki is in it and time travel crazy shit. So that is enough for me.
Oh yeah.
But let's circle back to Bad Batch. For all of you Clone Wars fans, this was kind of a really fun episode in general, but especially with Clone Wars because they brought back a lot of characters. And of course, my favorite, the dumb battle droids.
Oh, yeah. No, the dumb battle droids were great. Like, it was just great to see them.
Helpful battle droids, the thing you never thought you would see in your entire life, and they did.
Right? They totally did it. I mean, it was a good episode, pretty good amount of action. We got some surprises in there, obviously, as we do every week. But the battle droids were definitely the highlight of that.
Sure. We got action, we got comedy, we got returning characters, we got mystery at the end, we got drama with Wrecker. Like, this episode probably had it all out of all of them, other than obviously the first, because we kind of don't count that because it's unfair since it's 70 minutes versus like 20 something.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, I think this might have beat out the last one for my favorite.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously outside of the pilot,
Mm-hmm.
but of the like normal 30-ish minute episodes, this one was definitely the tops one for me.
I mean, if they're gonna keep every week like having it be better than the last, I'm here for it. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're in for something good if that keeps happening for sure.
And then let's jump over to Bryce, because Bryce is endlessly fascinated by Omega and her weirdness. What did you think about what they did with her this week?
I think it was really cool. Her bow is pretty freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really cool Star Wars weapon. Haven't really gotten a Star Wars bow and arrow yet, and I really like uh, Star Wars's kind of take on that. So I think it's really cool. Omega, is kind of weird because um, she was such a natural with the blaster, and now she's got the bow and arrow, and she's having a lot of trouble. And even somebody like makes like an off comment like not everybody can be a natural, or I guess she's not a natural or something like that. So it's kind of
Right.
weird, because she was clearly a natural with the blaster, but now she's got the bow and arrow, and it's taking her some time.
But then she
Yeah.
is a natural. Like partway through the episode, it's super weird because
Yeah.
they're like when they are like, you can't use it right now because you don't have the like upper body strength. And you're like, well, of course, she's like 10. That's
Exactly.
not weird or surprising. And she struggles with it. And then all of a sudden she picks it up when they're in danger. Pow, pow, she's fine. You're like, what?
Yeah. And
That doesn't
you know
make
what?
sense.
You know what's funny? I've been thinking about one thing since that episode. Like, we know it's Star Wars. This stuff isn't real, obviously. But you would think those kind of bows would be a little easier to
Easier?
draw, just because they're pure energy. But I mean, actually thinking about that now, that might make it
Pure
more
energy
of a
driving.
challenge because it's not just like a physical arrow that weighs a pound or whatever.
I don't think they're a pound, but I totally
Oh
get what
no,
you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah, no, like the fact that it's essentially an energy beam, I don't know. I get like I go back and forth. Yeah, maybe it should be easier, but maybe it should be harder. But yeah, I
yeah,
mean it's weird how quickly she picks it up,
yeah.
and
But then
it's
again,
got to
we've
be
said that.
tied to her.
Yeah, and we've also said that like 2 or 3 times throughout the series, like how easy it is for her to pick things up. So I think next time she does it, in an episode or two, it might not be quite as shocking, but it probably will be, honestly.
Oh, Megan's entire character. That's weird.
Pretty much. And I mean, obviously that's the case with a lot of Star Wars characters, but she's the one that's right in front of us right now. So
Yeah, that's kind of the mystery of her is what is going on with you, and we don't know. But
yeah,
I'm hoping we'll find out soon.
the Omega tagline. What?
Yeah, right. And we really got them feeling like Bad Batch again. We had that a little bit last episode, and we had it a lot in this episode where they were working as a team. They were fighting bad guys that kind of knew what they were doing. Do you think that was tied to the fact that they were actually fighting droids like they're used to?
I didn't actually think about that, but that's actually a great point. Like the fact that we haven't really seen them actually fight droids since the end of the first episode where they were still in the Clone Wars and everything.
Right.
I mean, there's been like really, really spare moments. I mean, most of the droid stuff has been the funny, Wrecker using them as weights and everything. But but no, that actually is a really good point. They might have had an easier time with it, like because that's kind of what they're used to more rather than fighting actual people or like doing these missions and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean Hunter had a great line at the end where he said it's hard not being a soldier. Like they don't really know what to do. So I think that this kind of brought them back into, okay, we have a mission, we get to kill droids, we kind of know how to handle this. So I'm really hoping we see that transition because it makes sense, but you can't have that be the entire show. Like they have to get better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and like I'm sure there'll be more missions like that, and they'll get better as a team fighting, stuff that they're normally going to be fighting in this series. But it was kind of cool seeing them go back to, I guess, their roots, if you wanna call it that.
No, yeah, it was classic Bad Batch. Tech wasn't a dick. He was helpful. Nice. Hunter was like doing his badass thing. Wrecker got to just pummel.
Yeah.
Robots and
yeah.
Echo
Also,
had
can we
the
talk about the whole
joke in
Oh
the
yeah.
freaking episode.
Yes, he did. That was
They
amazing.
did Who's on first. I loved it so much. Whenever anyone pulls that off, I'm like, you win. You're
Oh my god. Yeah, that was probably the best joke of the series so far, honestly.
right. I'm
Yeah.
so curious if they can top it because it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, we were all dying laughing on the watch along. And then also I was thinking too, can we talk about the whole Wrecker
Yes.
inhibitor chip stuff? Because that was a huge ground shaking development.
We've seen it coming since like episode 3, and I am not ready for it.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be heartbreaking. I'm assuming that's where Rex is gonna come in. Like once they lose Wrecker, then they're gonna go, okay, we gotta figure this out. And so that's probably where Rex is gonna come in, and he's gonna be able to get them out of their heads or something.
I'm so curious if they're gonna fully lose Wrecker or if he's gonna keep having these like sporadic moments.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna have to basically like kind of hold him down and figure out the issue. Because I almost feel like you can't fully lose Wrecker at this point.
No, exactly. He seems like, I mean, he didn't turn nearly as easy as Crosshair did once he hit his head and once the chip was kind of
activated.
Exactly, activated, really working on him. So that I think should help in the Wrecker department.
I still think the reason Crosshair got affected by the chip so easily is because his like enhancements are like the least. Like his is basically eyesight, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have quite as many like natural enhancements as the other ones, or at least noticeable natural ones.
And Wrecker is basically like supercharged, but Tech is like his brain is on steroids basically. Hunter's got all the super sentences and Echo's basically half droid. So Wrecker makes sense, but also it sucks. And they did it so well with like the drama and hearing Crosshair's voice and like you can see the struggle and the music. It was so well done.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Like, it was one of the saddest moments, like one of the scariest moments of the whole series, but it was also one of the most well-done sequences of the whole series so far.
100%. Like, that's the thing. As much as we're not hugely into episodes 2 and 3. Like, we're not saying they're bad. They just were not as exciting for us. Moments like that, you're like, okay, they fucking know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, totally.
You know. I'm really excited to see them really lean into it because I feel like it's going to make it better.
Yeah, no, I hope so.
And then we had Clone Wars serious tie-ins, not only with the battle droids, but we had the return of 2 characters that I'm pretty sure no one ever expected to see again.
Nope. No, I definitely did not see. I'm losing their names.
Rafa and Trace.
Rafa and Trace. I did not see Rafa and Trace coming at all. I didn't see them coming so much. I forgot their names.
Interesting potential Ahsoka tie-in, perhaps?
It's gotta be, right?
It is a Dave Filoni animated project, right?
I mean, like, that's their only tie to anything.
Ahsoka is the Robert Downey Jr. of the Star Wars universe.
In animated, she sort of is.
She really kind of is. Yeah. I mean, given we've only had 2 animated series, and this is the 3rd. 3, right? So Clone Wars, Rebels,
Resistance.
And Resistance like half counts. So
right, yeah.
Sort of, yeah. It's an entirely different era. That's like right before the sequel era.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, for sure. But yeah, at this point, I wouldn't be shocked at all if we see Ahsoka come up. It'll be awesome. It'll be exciting. I think.
We have to, right?
At this point, I feel like we have to, like sooner rather than later.
I just loved it because personally, I really like that storyline in Clone Wars. I think it's a really important part of Ahsoka's development into being the Jedi we see in Mandalorian season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I had never anticipated seeing Rafa and Trace again.
No, and like they were awesome characters, but definitely not ones we expected to see again because they were in a 4-episode arc in season 6 or 7, I think.
7.
And 7, right? And then
and so many people hate that arc.
Yeah, like it wasn't a bad arc at all.
It wasn't bad. It definitely just wasn't my favorite of that arc though, because I mean, season 7, I mean, was I mean, had such huge, like, they had the Bad Batch arc, and then they had the final arc. And was there another
Yeah.
arc in there? Am I missing
Yeah,
one?
this one.
Well,
But
yeah,
I mean, they're
obviously this
crazy.
one,
Like
but,
you
you know.
compare, like you have Bad Batch, and you have the big siege of Mandalore, and then you had this kind of like little side quest that
Yeah.
Ahsoka went on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean, compared to those, I mean, yeah, I'd say it's probably the lesser arc, but it's also, like, those were huge arcs. And
I
so
guess
it's kind of
it was
hard to
kind of
compare.
kind of
Yeah.
bound to get lost in the shuffle a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I mean, the big mystery of the episode, other than Omega, obviously, is who are they talking to?
Oh, seriously. There's like
It's
5
Ahsoka.
options for who it could be.
No,
Oh
it's
my god.
Ahsoka. It has to be Ahsoka.
The only reason I don't lean it towards that is they said him. They said we got to talk to him.
Oh.
Right?
Then it's
Yeah.
Rex. It's got to be Rex.
I was thinking Rex. I was thinking maybe Bail Organa. Someone in the chat
I'm
said
leaning
Darth
Bail
Maul, which
Organa.
could be really freaking cool.
Yeah, because Bail Organa's been in a lot of the more recent stuff. Like he was in, Clone Wars, the prequel series. He could be in this. So
He's like her tie-in in Rebels too.
yeah, for sure. It'd be cool seeing him again. I mean, the guy who plays him does a good job, and yeah, it would definitely make for an interesting story if he's the one behind Rafa and Trace.
Yeah, I'm really, because it was so, we said it during the watch along. That was weird music at the end. It sounded so sinister that it
Super
threw
ominous.
everything off. You're like, they're fine, and all of a sudden the creepy music comes in. You're like,
No,
oh
they're
my
not.
god, are they evil? What's
No, they're
happening?
not.
And they did that in the last episode too, where they made Sid seem suspicious, and I don't think Sid is suspicious. I don't think she's supposed to be.
I don't think so. I mean, she's aggressive. She's got her whole thing going, but
Yeah.
I don't think she's sinister.
So I'm hoping that the music was just weird. Otherwise, I'm like, oh my god, are they working for Darth Maul? Are they working for the Pikes? What is going on?
Oh my god. What if Darth Maul popped up in this again? That'd be super cool.
I feel like he might, because Sam Witwer has like talked about knowing what's happening and seeing the episodes and stuff. And I mean, I think he's friends with the people that make this, but I'm also like, why not bring Darth Maul in?
Right, for sure.
Like, they've already hinted at Jabba. We've got they're starting the bounty hunter stuff. Why not have Darth Maul get involved? Especially if Omega's Force sensitive. I feel like if she's Force sensitive, he has to show up.
Yeah, and I'm definitely leaning more toward, I'd say I'm probably like 65-35 or so on her being Force sensitive. I can't say for sure, but I'm leaning that way.
I was really like 70-30 against when this started. I'm solid 50. I don't know at this point.
Okay, fair enough. What about you? We both gave numbers. What about you, Bryce?
50. I don't know. It could go either way. So I have no idea.
Yeah. Hey, at least neither of us are going crazy one way or the other.
90-10, 100%.
114%.
To -13 or negative
Right?
99-1.
Gotta give yourself that 1% just to make sure you're covered.
Oh yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I mean, I think of the show so far, like everything in the show, she's probably the most like mysterious part of it, obviously, and obviously she was supposed to be. But I mean, she's gonna be really interesting, and I mean, there's a couple things I'm looking forward to seeing. I wonder if Fennec's gonna come back. I wonder like how they're gonna work on these missions and everything together. There's a lot we don't know.
Man, I hope Fennec comes back. That's such a waste if she doesn't.
Yeah,
Right, for
she's
one
gotta come
episode.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, if they get Ming-Na Wen for only one episode.
Well, I mean, they haven't resolved, why she's
Any of it.
there,
And they brought her up again the episode after she showed up.
So they have to bring her back, or
Yeah,
else
for sure.
it won't make any sense.
Exactly.
I hope we dive into a lot more with the bounty hunters and stuff, because I know that's something they wanted to get into in Clone Wars and they just weren't able to. I think they like transferred it over to the comics, but I would love to see that be a thing here. And I also just want to see Hondo be Hondo. Like, he would be
Hondo would be
totally
great.
ridiculous with these guys.
Yeah, he's definitely a fan favorite of Clone Wars.
Yeah, so I feel like they have a lot of characters to play with from Clone Wars, and because of how quickly this is set after it, just do it. I mean, they did it with this episode, and it worked. I felt like Rafa and Trace weirdly elevated the episode to a degree because they were that kind of conflicting presence.
Exactly. And like, because you didn't know what you were getting out of them, especially at the end, like in that last scene, like they really, really changed it up. Like you got the characters that they were obviously in Clone Wars, but you got a sense of you have no idea what's about to happen with them too.
Yeah, like all we know is we assume Ahsoka kind of changed their lives for the better.
Yeah, you think so?
That's about it, and we aren't 100% sure of that right now.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Clone Wars. I mean, I think it's Bad Batch. I think it's just gonna get better.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if there's anything that else we got to talk about this episode, but we got a good other 10 weeks ahead of us.
Yeah, I think there are literally like 10 more episodes, so I'm excited. We're going into August with it, I think, right?
Right, yeah, and we don't have a premiere date for What If or anything, so we don't know if those are going to conflict. I mean, obviously it's going to go the whole run with Loki with Marvel, but no, we got a good show coming.
I'm hoping What If starts right after it.
I hope so too.
Okay, so that is our breakdown of the Bad Batch. Like I said earlier, we've got some Andor news. We've got the return of one of the characters from Rogue One. So that's pretty cool. It's Duncan Powell, who will be reprising his role as Ruskat Melshi. And he is a sergeant that participated in the big ending battle, the Battle of Scarif. He was the one that kind of led the ground assault. So it should be interesting to see him working with Andor, because we'll see them kind of build that trust and build that working relationship of, yeah, I trust you to take care of business down here. I know that you can handle yourself. And he was also one of the ones behind Andor when he basically gave that big moment of, you don't know what we've sacrificed and what we've done in the name of the rebellion. So I'm really curious to kind of get into this darker side. I mean, Andor's kind of flown under the radar as far as it comes for these Disney Plus Star Wars shows, but
yeah.
Well, I think one reason for that would be nobody wants an Andor show. Might be one issue.
I don't know that necessarily nobody wants it so much as
and
no
by
one
nobody
really knows
we mean
what.
Definitely not Bryce West.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't even know if it's nobody wants it. I just think
you guys
no
remember
one really
Solo?
knows.
That was a Han Solo movie, and it completely bombed, crashed, and burned.
In comparison to other Star Wars movies, in comparison to movies in general, kind of it didn't. It's
No,
very
it
weird.
it didn't even break even though. It lost Disney hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a complete failure. And that was Han Solo. And now we're talking about Andor, who's been in one movie and wasn't even the main character.
I think part of the Andor thing is no one really knows what to do with it. It's going to be a spy show in Star Wars. That's really cool if you think about it. It's just we don't really know anything beyond that. He's got kind of a dark past, which was clear in the movie because he's done a lot of stuff for the rebellion as a spy that is maybe not that great, and that's about it. That's all we really know about this guy. So I think it'll be interesting to dive into it. It's supposed to be 12 episodes, so that's pretty long for these Star Wars shows.
Yeah. Well, especially a live action one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because isn't Obi-Wan supposed to be 6? I think.
I don't know if it's out for sure.
Yeah.
They also filmed this primarily on practical sets instead of the volume.
Yeah, especially from the pictures that we've seen and everything. I know we've gotten a bunch of set pictures of them on the beach with the shore troopers and everything. So yeah, no, I mean, and yeah, like you were saying, I think this one has really flown under the radar, amongst all the other ones, because we got Mando season 3, Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan,
Ahsoka
for sure, exactly. But yeah, this one's definitely flown under the radar in comparison to the rest of those, and we'll see how it works out. I hope it's good. So
I don't think it'll be bad. I think it'll be good. It's just no one knows what to do with it at this point.
It's a mystery, absolutely.
Yeah, because you have a point, Bryce. This isn't a character anyone really
I have yet
knows.
to meet someone who goes, oh boy, I'm so excited for Star Wars Andor to come out on Disney Plus in 2022. Especially whenever we've got other shows like Ooh, Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, Ahsoka. I mean, even the Acolyte set in the High Republic era. I mean, this is probably got to be the least anticipated Star Wars project, just generally, not even for me, but generally out of all of them. I mean, of course, I'm speaking for a bunch of people that I don't know.
No, I get where you're coming from.
But
Because yeah, even
Yeah,
the
for sure.
Bad Batch, we kind of had more of a connection to.
yeah,
Because we did follow
Yeah.
them for 4 episodes, and they were connected to characters like Rex and Cody and Anakin that we knew and cared about. Like this is,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, Rogue One's
Well,
awesome.
and we also know that
But
we also knew that they were doing something really creative with it because it was set after Order 66. And
Right.
that and directly after, and that hasn't really been
Yeah.
something that's been explored yet. And now with Andor, all we have is set 5 years before Rogue One. It follows Rebel spy casting Andor during the formative years of the rebellion. It's just like we've
Yeah.
seen that a million times.
Yeah.
Like,
And plus two, the Bad Batch only first premiered a year ago in Clone Wars because season 7 of Clone Wars was in 2020. So
right.
we're a lot more familiar with them in terms of time we've spent away from them. It's been what 5 years since we've seen Andor.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's even with Rogue One, like Rogue One's one of my favorite Star Wars movies. But it's not like I looked at Cassian Andor and went, I need to see that guy again.
You want to see more of this guy, exactly? Yeah.
So
no, if anyone, it was probably Saw Gerrera.
yeah,
that would have been a cool series. Yeah.
maybe.
'Cause-
But I was the only thing that was keeping me excited was K2SO because he was a really funny character in
Mhm.
Alan
Rogue
Tudyk,
One, and I
right?
was really excited to see Alan Tudyk in it again. And then he's not in the show. Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, Alan Tudyk can get you to watch anything that he's in.
Yeah.
Like he's
Because
just
he's
great.
in everything.
Like Alan Tudyk
There's
as
that,
K2SO
too.
was the only like okay, so that's gonna be a fun thing. His relationship with Andor, but
Yeah.
no, that's not even there. So it's just like what does this show have that other Star Wars like stuff hasn't
I
had?
think it's the espionage aspect, and I think it hasn't been marketed enough, I guess. Like it's the fact that this is a spy show that hasn't, like, yes, we've seen rebel spies, but we haven't really seen them be spies. We haven't seen people for the rebellion do really, really bad stuff in the name of freedom. So I'm excited. I'm hoping this is actually a pretty dark series.
It's like Mission Impossible meets Star Wars a little bit, right?
Kind of, yeah. Like I'm hoping this is
prequel being dark.
Yeah, I know, right? Rogue One's such a happy movie.
Right. Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping this really dives into like a lot of the bad stuff that Andor had to do to make the rebellion work, because that's not something we've really seen. Like we usually see the rebellion and it's like, we're gonna save the day. It's not. I basically had to like give up my soul so that this would work.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, I think it's cool that we have a returning character. I like at least these characters will get a little bit more info. I mean, that was kind of the one thing about Rogue One, spoilers if you haven't seen it. They all die. Like we didn't get to know these characters very well. It was like, oh, cool, you are here. Oh, well, all right. And it makes sense. They have to because they're not in any of the other movies. But you're also like,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's like you said, Bryce. It was hard to connect to them beyond the plot because you assumed you weren't seeing them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like you didn't really expect to see any of them. And I think that's partly too why people maybe aren't quite as excited for the series. They weren't expecting to see Andor again, and they are.
Don't know what to do with that. Yeah. And I mean, we got some more casting news. This is not a returning actor, but Robert Ems, who's in Chernobyl and His Dark Materials, has joined Rogue One. There's no actual information about the character. I mean, again, we don't know enough about this show to even really guess. Like, is he Empire? Is he another rebellion person? Is he an alien random citizen? Like, you just don't know at this point. And so I'm hoping the marketing ramps up on this, because honestly, at this point, Ahsoka, basically, we kind of know what's going on with that, if for no other reason than her episode in The Mandalorian. And we all have known Ahsoka for like
years,
over a decade. Like, we know what's going on with Obi-Wan, because again, they're like, okay, it's set during this time. Oh, yeah, he was doing this. He was doing this. This is going to probably come up. Like, there's just a lot of stuff. There's a lot of pieces we know about these characters. Andor, we're basically like, Oh, you're really messed up. Okay,
This is
cool.
happening.
Yeah, let's dive into why.
Yeah, like I mean, definitely of the 3 shows that we're talking about, like Andor is definitely number 3 in terms of the ones I'm most excited for. I honestly have a hard time picking between which one I'm more excited for between Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, but yeah, I'd probably lean Obi-Wan a tick, but Ahsoka is going to be awesome too.
Yeah, I mean, part of it I think is like Obi-Wan. It's with Ewan McGregor, who we all know is Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka. Don't get me wrong. Like, she did awesome in Mandalorian, but she's not who we're used to as Ahsoka.
Yeah. You know what? The thing I want to see, and this isn't going to be for a long time, like in 20, 30 years, when Ewan McGregor is Alec Guinness's age for when he originally did the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And like just seeing how that lines up 20, 30 years from now.
That'd be hilarious. I mean, one of like, there's this, like, it's so interesting how they get into all of that with the animated, where they can really show you kind of the transition. So I'm hoping we get that in this as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, before we move on, I'll just like, Andor has the potential to be really cool.
Yeah.
We don't really know anything beyond that. I said potential. It has the potential to be really cool, but that's about all we know.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Cool, I guess. Yeah.
I really like the concept of a espionage show in the Star Wars universe. I think that could be done really well. I mean, we got a Western in Star Wars and that killed it, so.
Yeah, I just hope I hope they do a good job with the marketing campaign, like kind of selling people on why it's going to be cool and like kind of teasing at least enough to get people excited. I mean, we know we're not going to get any marketing stuff for a while because we don't even have a release date in 2022 yet.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, hopefully they do a good job with the marketing.
We even gotten Boba Fett marketing. That's like the next show.
Exactly. And that comes out in what, October, or like at the end of the year, something like that.
December. I think it's December.
Yeah, I think you're right, December.
No, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for what this could be, but yeah, it's probably the lowest on my list right now.
Yeah, definitely.
The lowest. I mean, I think maybe if I could go negative spots on the list, I think that's probably where it would be at.
Damn. All right.
Like, I don't. It's not a show I desire or even
like
want. Like,
not at the
on your
bottom,
radar.
Not at the bottom of the list. Not even on the list.
Well, no, it not on my radar is probably not even correct either. Like, not even wanted on the radar. Like, I don't want to. Like, you know,
wow.
like I'm not looking for it. You know, and so.
Oh man.
I'm not searching for it, so it's not that. Yeah, it's not on the radar.
No, this is the jam when the radar gets jammed in Spaceballs.
Yeah, yeah. I would rather have a Spaceballs Disney Plus series than Andor.
Now that's a sequel. Quick tangent. That's a sequel they need to make. Spaceballs 3. Spaceballs 3. The search for Spaceballs 2.
Yeah. That's what they should call it. Yeah.
I think we got that from. I think we got that from actually one of the watch-alongs.
We did.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. I mean, I just hope they do a good job, like I was saying, with the marketing and everything. I hope they kind of
and the show.
Well, that too. Yeah.
The marketing, like, it doesn't matter how good or bad the show is. If the marketing for the show isn't good, it's going to fall completely flat on its face because nobody cares about casting Andor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the thing will decide it is what is it up against? Like, what Marvel show is going up against?
Right, exactly. Because we still don't have release dates for the Marvel Disney Plus shows next year. We kind of have a general
like Loki season 2, or Moon Knight, or no,
or Moon
it's
Knight
going up against Secret Invasion.
If it goes up against Secret Invasion, it's screwed.
It's dead. That's also a spy show, but it's Marvel and it's characters we know. Yeah, like if it kind of is on its own for a little bit, I feel like it's going to have more of a chance because it'll get more in like the pop culture like feed. Where if it's going up against stuff like Secret Invasion, it's just going to fall off the radar even while it's on.
Exactly. Yeah, because Secret Invasion, like at least for the Marvel shows, I think Secret Invasion might be like the show that people are most excited for. It might be like the big event that people are most looking forward to for Marvel.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But Anyway, I think we got one more interesting bit of Star Wars
this
news,
is my
right?
favorite Star Wars news ever.
This is hysterical. So it's a little bit of a weird one. I'll go into that. I'll start off with that.
That's why it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So there was a class action lawsuit. Like, what was it, from the U.S. government? It looked like an oil company that
the lawsuit isn't super important.
But there was a federal judge who used in the analysis section comparing something to Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, and it basically said that those movies are legally mediocre, like legally objectively mediocre.
The comparison was basically like, well, like they lied about XYZ or something, and like what, but it essentially was like, well, George Lucas said that we weren't going to get any other mediocre Star Wars sequels after Disney bought it, and clearly that's not true since Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker exist. So, like, according to a federal court, those two movies are legally not good.
Like, I've got the exact quote here. That's like George Lucas promising no more mediocre and schlocky Star Wars sequels shortly after selling the franchise to Disney. Such a promise would be illusory.
Real quick.
That's so good. Like, what?
I want to credit that Star Wars girl for the graphic that we have on screen right now. I don't know if you two can see it yet, but I think it's pretty funny.
Oh, man. We'll see it in a second. But
freaking funny to me, because that's the one. Those are the ones that everyone rags on, especially now. Like, those are the two that made people go, "What? You know what? The prequels maybe weren't as bad as I thought." And the fact that there's now like legal evidence that you're like, "No, that's fair." That's like, so funny.
Episode 1 and 2 are like definitively mediocre amongst
They're
like
great.
just about the entire Star Wars fan base.
Oh,
Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker took the cake in that department.
They took the cake for mediocre, or they were awful. What are you talking about?
Everyone was pissed when the prequels first dropped because everyone went, "What do you mean midichlorians? That, like, I don't want politics. Give me like lightsaber battles and stuff."
Seriously.
Like, the reason people were upset made sense. It was just like, your story doesn't track, dude.
Like the prequel.
That's amazing.
The picture just showed up. That's fantastic.
The graphic just popped up on our end. But you know, the prequels are definitively mediocre. The sequels are definitively
god-awful.
The biggest steam pile of human garbage that has ever crossed the cinema screens.
If you watch It's All Connected, you have heard our scathing opinions of most of the sequel trilogy.
Force Awakens, okay. Rise of Skywalker, yikes. Last Jedi, yikes. Rise of Skywalker, don't even talk to me.
You went from oh no to how did it get worse? Don't get me wrong, Last Jedi's not great. I'll rewatch it. I don't rewatch Rise of Skywalker. It makes me angry.
I saw it once on Star Wars Day last year, and I do not plan on seeing it again.
That's so sad.
Because
I'm offended because
I had never seen it before.
Celebrate Star Wars Day, like
I didn't see it in theaters.
I will give you the excuse of Star Wars, like, and Disney dropped that on Star Wars Day, like it was a big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So I will give you that excuse, but that's so sad. Like, when you told me that the first time, I was like, you have to do Star Wars Day correctly this year.
Yeah, well,
that can't be your experience of Star Wars Day.
Well, like, I mean, you guys know, and anybody who's watched the show knows, I'm definitely the least caught up on Star Wars of the three of us, or the most recent. And like this year, Star Wars Day, May the 4th was like the first time I actually kind of felt like a real Star Wars fan, that knows what he's actually talking about.
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at that graphic I have on screen.
That's great. Oh my god.
Let's be clear here. Now we are completely drilling into the Rise of Skywalker and the sequels, but I want to be clear because there are people on the internet, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, who go, this is our opinion, so it has to be yours too. If you love the sequels, if you love the Rise of Skywalker, totally cool. We hate them,
good for you.
So we like to make fun of them. But if you love them, absolutely, by all means, love them. We don't want you to stop loving Rise of Skywalker because we hate them. I wanted to put that disclaimer out because we're ruthlessly
yeah.
I 100% agree. I mean, part of my annoyance with it, and this is just a personal bias, I had a headache after it.
Oof.
So that
Like,
like
not because of the movie, or like just.
I don't know. Like I don't know.
Ouch. Ouch.
So that's part of it for me where I'm like, never again. Nope. Like, I will add that disclaimer. Like, if you love it, like Bryce said, that's awesome. That's completely awesome. Everyone should love what they love about Star Wars. That is the point.
You were able to love it because I wanted to love it so bad. I tried to convince myself after I came out of the theater that it was great. I have no idea what people are talking about. And then once it kind of settled in, I was just like,
why?
Why?
For me, I have a couple of weird Star Wars opinions. I think like going near to the top of the list, I actually like A New Hope maybe a tiny bit better than Empire, even though I know Empire is
awesome.
Just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and like that's not saying Empire is a bad movie at all. It's amazing. It's got probably one of the top 2 or 3 greatest reveals in the history of movies. But and then like in the prequel trilogy, Episode 3 like is actually kind of a fun time looking back on it. Like
Episode 3, the prequels are 2 strikes and a home run. I love the prequel trilogy for what it is, because it is a cohesive story that had a direction, it was going somewhere, and it got there, and the ending was great. The
prequels are solid with Clone Wars.
Yeah, the sequels.
I completely agree there. Clone Wars definitely helps the prequels.
The sequels had A New Hope, A New Hope 2. Okay, which was okay because they just copied A New Hope, so it was fine.
It couldn't be that bad, right?
And then they had 2, like, I don't even know what it would be. Like,
dumpster fires?
Like 2 outs, but they're not even outs. Like, what's worse than an out in baseball? So, like you know, have you seen the video of
the
Cubs? Where where the Cubs are fighting, going up against the Pirates, and Baez hits the first, but then the guy on first base, instead of just stepping on first, he chases Baez.
Oh my God, I saw that.
And then a guy makes it to home, and then Baez proceeds to get a double because the guy on the Pirates just didn't step on first. That's what Lucasfilm did with the sequels.
Or the ones where they throw the ball and like the pitcher throws and hits a bird and freaking kills it instead on accident.
I don't know. Here's
people who don't know baseball,
you'll get
have
this
no idea
one.
What we're talking
it's
about,
the baseball episode of Psych where the one team is fighting with itself.
Yep, 100%. Like, don't get me wrong, Last Jedi I think is not as bad. Like, I think that there's some interesting concepts that they play with in Last Jedi. They get thrown out the window in Rise of Skywalker, which is probably part of why I don't like it.
I thought Last Jedi was the worst Star Wars movie before Rise of Skywalker came out, because it was just like, you know, it really contradicted a lot of things that Force Awakens was setting up and what had been set up in the past 6 movies. You know, with the whole Skywalker legacy and the prophecy and stuff like that. And then Rise of Skywalker comes in and literally just flips all of that on its head again. So Last Jedi flipped it on its head, and then Rise of Skywalker flipped the head on its head. Flipped the already flipped head on its head. And so
the sequel trilogy is 2 completely different stories, but you take out the 3, exactly. Lucasfilm, Rian Johnson, and J.J. Abrams. But you take out the middle part from one cohesive story, and then the other story has 2 missing cohesive parts of it, and it's just one jumbled mess.
And I mean, I will say this, and I know I'm probably in the minority, like, there are parts of 1 and 2 that I don't mind, specifically because I like Padme.
Sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Padme's great. Ewan McGregor
there are
is great.
enjoyable parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor carries that whole trilogy.
Yeah,
dude,
like
I'm surprised his back is. I'm surprised he's paralyzed from carrying the prequel. Like,
right, exactly.
I haven't seen Resistance, so I don't know if it does what Clone Wars did for the prequel trilogy. But I feel like
nobody
they
talks about
need
it.
that. Yeah, like I feel like they need that at this point. They need something to like connect everything.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
And
But
they seem like they're kind of doing that with Mandalorian, but they haven't really got there yet fully.
Well,
So
yeah, they're still
well,
essentially in the same era as this
yeah,
original trilogy.
yeah,
and there's
yeah,
only
yeah.
16
But
episodes,
they're
so
setting stuff up, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's just they haven't gotten to fully execute it yet because it's a
yeah,
show. You've got to take time to build things up and actually have a cohesive story and have a
yeah,
plan on where you're going to go with said story.
yeah.
100%.
And there's only 16 episodes of it so far, so
Yeah.
we'll see how long it goes. But
I mean, I think it's going to go for a while. I don't see it ending anytime soon.
oh, it could. But yeah, the basic gist of this news is that Star Wars: The Last Jedi and Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker
are now legally
mediocre, and that's kind of amazing.
That's so funny.
Almost just as funny as it's. Look, what was her name again? That Star Wars girl on YouTube. This is a thumbnail from, I think, a review. From whenever Rise of Skywalker came out. This is hilarious. So that Star Wars girl on YouTube. That what a hilarious thumbnail. Thank you for gracing the internet with that. That is hilarious.
Great.
I just love, the other piece of this story that I love, someone went to court with a document and went, this will win.
Yep.
Like, they went to a
Star
federal
Wars.
court using this analogy and went, yeah, this will fly. Like, who would think to do that?
Seriously, who thinks to use a pop culture movie on a legal document?
Like, that is the part that kills me.
You guys know that Jedi is like an actual religion in the real world, right? Like one of those guys.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. Like how Quidditch is a real sport now.
Yeah,
I love watching people play Quidditch. They run around with
that's pretty entertaining.
My university used to have a Quidditch team. Yeah,
so it is fine.
It would be pretty entertaining to watch. Yeah.
And my high school, I think, had one. It didn't make sense. I was like, "Do you fly? No." Then so you're riding around with a broom? Yep. Cool.
So it's football and basketball with brooms, yeah, and you run around on them.
I think it's like lacrosse with brooms, basically, right?
Actually, yeah, it probably is lacrosse with brooms. One of my cousins plays lacrosse. That's probably pretty close to it.
Let's make lacrosse more challenging. Go.
Yeah, exactly. You get a broom between your legs.
Oh my gosh. But that is our Star Wars news. Like we said, this is a weird one, but it's so...
We had to tackle it.
Right, you have to talk about that.
So now in any Star Wars debates, if you don't like the sequels, now you can just say that that Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker are legally mediocre at best. So,
exactly.
Again, if you like them, congratulations. I don't know how you did it, but you did it. So good on you. But
good for you, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So so good. That's so funny.
Right.
Okay, so I think we're going to transition out of Star Wars because honestly, I don't know how we could follow that up anyways.
Man, I don't know. I want to keep this image up for the rest of the show. This is great.
Right.
And we are going to move into Marvel and our Loki rundown, which I am excited for. All right. So we have Loki premiering on Wednesday, and like I said earlier in the show, we have our Marvel watch along finally returning after a pretty long hiatus for us.
Like 2 months, yeah.
Tuesdays, 11:40 p.m. Pacific, starting this Tuesday, we will have our Marvel watch along start up again with Loki, and we will be speculating, watching the episode, talking with you guys, answering questions, breaking it down, all that fun stuff. It will be me, Richard, Brax, and TC does comics. So it will be fantastic. And let's dive in a little bit to what we should be kind of prepping for with Loki, because Loki's going to be interesting. Loki's got a little bit of a unexpected kind of through line, I think. So the big movies for Loki obviously are the Thor trilogy, Thor the Dark World, and Thor Ragnarok, and then Avengers, where he is the main antagonist, and then his scenes in Infinity War, which, spoilers, big death scene, and then in Endgame, where we see kind of the version of Loki we're gonna get to know in the series for the first time.
Yeah, and can I say too, Endgame literally set up 3 or 4 different Disney Plus shows just by itself.
Endgame set up Disney Plus.
Basically,
Endgame set up Disney Plus. That is probably the greatest analogy I've ever heard. That is so true, though.
Right?
Steve at the end set up Falcon Winter Soldier. Vision died, so that set up WandaVision. Loki stole the Tesseract, so he set up Loki.
Hawkeye's
Hawkeye's.
darkness thing.
Yep, exactly.
Miss Marvel, or like Captain Marvel coming back and being an actual entity on Earth.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so
Miss Marvel, literally everything you can tie back to Endgame.
Seriously. But anyways, I mean, Loki is just gonna be. It's gonna be something crazy. These shows get crazier with every round, and like Caitlin was saying about what movies Loki's in, the big ones to really focus on are the first Thor and the Avengers, because
the scene in Endgame.
Yes, and the scene in Endgame, because that's when he gets taken from. He gets taken from the 2012 alternate reality that they visited, the time heist, steals the Tesseract for the third time in the MCU.
Yeah.
In the MCU. Yeah, no, literally.
They need better protection on that.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's Loki steals the Tesseract and he dies. Loki steals the Tesseract and he dies. Loki steals the Tesseract and he dies. And then Loki steals the Tesseract again.
Well, the third one isn't he dies, he just gets sucked from the timeline by the TVA,
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly.
I love he steals it again, by the way, because you know that messes up stuff, because, like, Thanos...
Oh, it's got to. Exactly.
But yeah, let's run down Loki's story a little bit. So in Thor, we get the whole God of Mischief kind of screwing with Thor so that he can take the throne, really manipulating everything. We also get kind of the tragedy of Loki of, oh, you were snatched as a baby.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not great, Odin.
Literally kidnapped.
And raised as an Asgardian while secretly being Jotun or
Frost Giant.
Frost Giant. So him having like issues, not a shock.
No. And that was one of Marvel's early rounds of spot on casting, because literally nobody knew who Tom Hiddleston was in 2010, 2011.
No one knew who a lot of these people were.
Oh God,
Chris
absolutely.
Hemsworth, his biggest role was being Kirk's dad in Star Trek.
And on Australian Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, that was it.
God.
You know.
Yeah.
And then he immediately dies in the movie. I think it's George Kirk. I think. And yeah, he basically immediately dies at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
And that was his biggest role.
Is giving birth, right?
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, I mean, Tom Hiddleston has literally killed this role for going on a decade now. And yeah, so basically they take him right from the end of the first Avengers, right after the Avengers capture him. And now he is
kind of a breakdown of his story on Avengers. Like, he's basically pissed about the fact that his big plan in Thor didn't work out. Starts working for Thanos and leads like this Chitauri invasion on New York. Is super evil, which I found, I'll talk about that later, is like straight up evil bad guy Loki. Fights the Avengers, gets his big fear of Hulk, understandably, because that goes poorly for him.
Goes very poorly, but that's also one of the greatest 5 seconds in the MCU.
Right?
The best part about that scene is I read something about that scene the other day when, right when Hulk beats the crap out of him. That literally Tom Hiddleston just said that he was going to do some big speech, like looking away from the camera. And he just told the guys to not even tell him when they were going to pull the floor out from under him. So it was more genuine. And that's amazing. And the sound he makes when he's just laying there.
Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah, so Loki goes full villain largely because like Odin sucks.
Odin's not a great dad.
No. So he goes full villain working for Thanos, and then it doesn't work out, obviously. He basically gets tossed in jail, and like all that happens. But in this version of events, instead of getting thrown into the prison, he escapes because Iron Man, Ant-Man, and Captain America suck at time travel.
Yeah.
So he escapes with the Tesseract, and that's kind of where we're going to open up with Loki. Now, the reason we're still going to talk about Thor the Dark World, Thor Ragnarok, and Infinity War is they aren't totally gone. Like, the thing is that's weird about this is it's a Loki variant. It is not like the Loki we've known, because
Prime Loki.
Yeah, we've had Loki go full villain. We've had him run Asgard and I think kind of be okay at it. Not great, but okay.
He wasn't awful. He could have been worse.
Yeah, I feel like Thor would have been worse. He was worse.
He was. Yes.
And then we saw Loki really go full on anti-hero in Ragnarok. I mean, that is the Loki I want.
Yeah.
So I'm really
Yeah.
hoping we have a Loki that is kind of not necessarily looking to redeem himself, but looking to kind of figure out who he is on his own, because Loki has so far been he has hugely been the supporting character and kind of the catalyst for Thor's journey as a hero.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I want to see Loki just being his own story.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. I love Ragnarok Loki. That's probably like my favorite version of him. I mean, I didn't mind villain Loki. I mean, I think he did a good job, but I think I like.
Hiddleston killed it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's amazing. But I like his story more like as a whole, like from Thor to Endgame. Like he's had an incredible journey. Like he is one of the only reasons that Dark World is watchable. I will say that.
Oh yeah,
Like that.
We were talking about Ewan McGregor before. Oh my gosh, Tom
He
Hiddleston
carries
shouldn't have
that
a
movie.
back anymore with how much he carried Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
he should be a head and legs because I mean he was the literal only good part of that movie.
I mean, he had some help in Ragnarok because that was an amazing movie.
Ragnarok was fantastic. I mean, there's a reason he works so well as an anti-hero in that, and it's because Taika's like, he's a god of mischief. He's not evil.
Exactly. But no, like I'm really curious to see how the character development goes in this series, because like you said, right now we're at Avengers Loki, which is like peak villain. This is when he's at his worst. And there's 4 movies worth almost of character development that go straight out the window with him being taken by the Time Variance Authority in this timeline. So, there's a lot with Loki to get into. And I mean, obviously he's not alone because we got Owen freaking Wilson in this. And, we've got an incredible cast. Awesome. I think it seems like you were saying with these, the Bad Batch episodes, every single one almost has gotten better. These Disney Plus shows, I think, could have a chance of really like almost topping, each one as they come out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really curious because we know from the D23 article that we talked about a little bit last week, Hiddleston's excited for a lot of reasons with this. A, this is a character he really cares about, which is always good. B, we're finally going to get out of that kind of, at this point, like tired pattern of trust, betrayal, trust, betrayal, trust, betrayal. Like that's his entire character. It's either he trusts someone and gets betrayed or they trust him and gets betrayed. So we're going to get out of that. And like I said, like, he's been a huge catalyst for Thor. Thor has also been a huge part of his story. So I'm really curious to see what he's like without Thor, because him becoming an anti-hero was kind of tied to Thor, like Thor forever had faith in his brother, whereas Loki, I think, didn't really see Thor as his brother for a long time.
Owen Wilson is his new brother.
That relationship is going to be amazing. Like,
he's like, you look like Thor enough. You're good.
Yeah, if we don't get one Owen Wilson, it'll be a disappointment. But either way, exactly.
It's got to be his death scene. I mean, eventually, I feel like that character's gonna die, so Loki can learn, like have some sort of loss, and he's literally going like.
Yeah. Or no. Even better. Tom Hiddleston does it. Loki does it.
Oh yeah.
Two Owen Wilson.
Or the toaster, or what was it? Is that
Miss Minutes?
Yeah.
The toaster. It's a clock.
Oh my god. But no, this series could take a lot of different directions, and I'm here for all of them.
I mean, it's going time travel. Like, I'm hoping it's better time travel rules than Endgame. They've kind of said it better. They've said it is, which is not a high bar.
No,
Endgame tried to get cute with their time travel rules.
Very annoying.
Yeah. The movie references
they should have
were
just
funny
done
enough,
normal movie time travel stuff.
And I mean, part of it, like we're kind of expecting this to tie into Kang the Conqueror, which is really cool.
We've heard he's going to get his kind of a semi-introduction in this series. I mean, I'm betting that won't come till later because he's going to be in Ant-Man 3. But no, I mean,
well, it's like one of the characters is straight up connected to him.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, this year's bringing us Kang the frickin' Conqueror. I mean, that's gonna be something. He's probably gonna be the next Thanos level big bad in the MCU.
Yeah, it's so funny that they're introducing him through Ant-Man.
Right? I would never ever have called that.
But even if it is Loki, that's almost just as ridiculous, I think.
Yeah. Do we think he's gonna show up like actually physically in this series at all? I would lean no.
I'd say no.
Yeah,
I think he might.
No, go ahead.
Oh, well, that was pretty much it. I think he might. You know, I have no reason. I mean, I just know that there's a lot of connections to Kang, and I don't think it will be anything huge, but I do think he'll at least have his intro here, and so then he can be a bigger role in Ant-Man.
Could you see like a post-credit scene? Are you thinking?
Maybe not. I don't know if it'd be a post-credit scene. I think he's gonna show up in an episode. But you know, because they don't really do that a lot with the post-credit scenes. They haven't really introduced a character in the post-credit scenes yet. So
they did with Thanos.
Well,
in the Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
But yet, I was actually literally just thinking that what if they kind of like pulled an Avengers sort of and introduced Kang in a post-credit scene like that? I mean, I would kind of lean. Yeah, I kind of lean toward where you're going more, Bryce. If they're going to introduce him, I'd say maybe.
We already know Kang is coming, whereas with Thanos, that was a surprise.
We had no idea exactly.
I mean, the only reason I'm leaning towards no is we haven't seen Disney Plus really push the envelope like that.
Yeah, but that's not saying that they won't. We just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, well, and then again, I mean, it's still one of those deals to where these Disney Plus shows now will connect to the movies, but the movies I don't think will necessarily connect back. Like, you know,
I think they're going to set up more shows, but I
think the Disney Plus stuff will introduce stuff for the movies, but I don't really think it's going to be the other way around.
I will say
sorry, just really quick. I think the biggest indicator of that is going to be stuff like Miss Marvel, where it's introducing a full new character that we know is showing in the movies.
And Hawkeye with Kate Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was gonna say, I think these shows have way more of a chance to do it than like the ABC and Netflix shows, obviously, because that was a whole different deal. And plus, we haven't had a movie come out during the Disney Plus runs. Like, we're gonna have 3 Disney Plus shows all before Black Widow comes out.
Yeah.
So
at least started,
exactly. So like, there's a lot that we could potentially see in these future movies. I think, like you said, Miss Marvel is going to be a big indicator. I think Hawkeye is going to be one. But I can't wait to see where it goes. And Loki, in particular, is going to be a fun show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like we said, he's kind of at this point his most villainous because we've seen him. Like, if you think about this version of Loki, we saw him essentially like learn that everything he grew up knowing was a lie. There was no way he was ever going to sit on the throne, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And then him going to Thanos because he's angry and hurt.
Yeah.
Invading Earth, having it fail really bad. And again, largely because of his brother. And then he thinks he's going to get away, and bam, he's grabbed by the TVA. So I'm really curious to see how this Loki kind of handles everything, because the other one, like you said, there's like 3 movies of him dealing with it and really getting to the point where he's willing to sacrifice himself for Thor.
Yeah, no, exactly. And also, can I just say it really helps that Tom Hiddleston hasn't aged a day in the last decade?
Yeah.
Because Avengers came out, 9 years ago? And it to be that same Loki. So, I mean, good for him. I mean, he looks great. He's still pulling off the role great. And, it's going to be fun.
I think that's all we kind of have for our speculation and anticipation for Loki. Is there anything else you guys want to run down with that?
I think that does it.
Okay.
Can't wait for Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, join us Tuesday because we're just gonna be excited.
We haven't done these Marvel watch-alongs in almost 2 months. It's gonna be a blast.
Mm-hmm. And in a kind of weirdly similar vein, our first
Yeah.
What If exclusive that we dropped this week was about Party Thor. So Party
Yeah.
Thor, the concept was kind of out there because of the merch leaks a while ago, which we talked about on the show. But we had details about kind of what Party Thor actually is, because just the name Party Thor, hard to go on.
Yeah. No, this is one of our first of the few What If exclusives. And I mean, like we said, these Disney Plus shows are going to keep getting better and better. What If might be the one that I'm actually most excited for right now, and especially with all these leaks coming. So with Party Thor, the information that we got is basically this is kind of looking at what Thor would have become if most of his first movie hadn't happened. So he's basically coming down to Earth to throw some kind of intergalactic massive party that could bring basically the end of the world as we know it. And this is instead of being banished to Earth like he was in the first movie within the first, 20 minutes or something. So, I mean, this one is going to be absolutely crazy. Now, the thing that we're not sure about with these What If episodes is how much they're going to connect really with each other instead of them being like their own individual stories. Like what if this happened? What if that happened? Like,
I mean, that is in the comics. They are their own things,
Exactly. Now, we don't know if it's going to be that or whether it's going to be like one cohesive story where a bunch of what ifs happen within the same universe. But in terms of Party Thor, I mean, it looks like all hell might break loose on Earth with this particular episode.
I love that he's like, I'm going to throw a party. Let's do it on Earth. It's cool.
Right? Exactly. Because at that point in Thor, we hadn't seen him on Earth at all. He was banished there, obviously, if you've seen the movie. But
if you haven't,
if you haven't, you're a little bit behind the times because it came out in 2011.
No, I mean, I think it's really cool. I mean, having all of these episodes that are gonna dive into just these random weird concepts, and this is a like unexpectedly cool one. It's because like Thor was kind of that party bro douchebag when we met him.
Absolutely.
And so we're getting to see what that means long term. That's great. And I actually wrote a feature up that went up yesterday that ties into that a little bit of where's Loki? Because he's not in any of the description stuff that we have. So what does that mean for Loki? Because like we were saying before, he's a huge kind of catalyst for Thor himself. He's what sets up like his hero's journey, essentially.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then and the thing too is I'm gonna love like hearing Chris Hemsworth go back to this and like take on this new kind of version of Thor that we from what we saw in the first movie, because obviously he was great in the first movie, but just kind of revisiting it and taking it in a new direction like that. And there is so much plot of this that we just don't know what's exactly going to happen. Like we know Thor's coming to Earth to throw some big banger of a party. But I mean, other than that, I mean, we have no idea what the hell's going to go down.
Who knows? Maybe Loki's not invited.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, but kind of two that are interesting is like, did this version of, because Loki got him banished, so he does not?
Right, exactly.
To just kind of play the long game out on that, or did Odin never adopt Loki?
Yeah.
Exactly. There are so many what ifs within this one what if that
No, 100%. I mean, that's what's so crazy about this stuff is it's like this is essentially the show of like what if you turn left instead of right?
But way many more times than you would expect
like,
to.
We don't know how Thor became this, other than it looks like he probably wasn't sent to Earth for like to learn humility, essentially. So
exactly.
How does that happen? What does that mean? How does he get to the place he's in? So there's a lot of really cool possibilities with that. And we had another one drop actually that was tied into like Black Widow and
this one is absolutely nuts. Yeah, I wrote up both of these last week. So there's another episode of What If coming with, like we said, with Black Widow, and this one is pretty much the basics of it are what if Ultron won in Age of Ultron. So Black Widow is said to be in this kind of like post-apocalyptic world. She's got this new armor with like plating on it and everything. And I mean, this one is going to be pretty crazy, seeing Black Widow kind of take on this new world, possibly after Ultron 1.
Yeah, like we know it's Black Widow in a like post-apocalyptic world after Ultron created a cataclysmic event. Now, what makes sense that for us, speculation wise, is Ultron 1. Because we like his big thing they want to do is like essentially drop a meteor on Earth.
Yeah.
You know, so our assumption here is okay, Ultron did it.
Yeah, exactly.
How did he win? How did Black Widow survive? Who else survived? Like you said, like the last one, there's so many questions. Like we would think that these like details would make it clearer. No.
They don't.
More questions
than answers for sure.
And this also ties back really well to that concept art leak from a while ago, if you remember, back in April.
Yeah.
And part of it was it looked like Ultron essentially it looked like his body that was like the badass armor is essentially going to be kind of an exoskeleton based on this concept art. And there's like red inside. Now, is the red Vision's body? Is it something else? We don't know. And it also kind of looks like he has the Infinity Stones on his armor. So could the red be that Infinity Stone that was in Jane in Dark World? Like there's there's a lot of possibilities with it. I mean, I'm really interested in if Ultron won because James Spader's freaking amazing. Yes. So having him not lose would be really cool to see, I think. And having Black Widow be the one kind of like making it, there's definitely a way to do it. Like she gets captured by Ultron. She gets rescued by Bruce. Maybe she doesn't.
Yeah, maybe she ends up stuck in that bunker that that Ultron puts her in. Maybe that's what saves her.
Right? Like there's a lot of weirdness that can go into this one that's going to make it really, really cool. And this is just 2 episodes and we're already like, okay, we need more, right? Like give me now.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. And like I know we were talking about like maybe James Spader coming back for WandaVision way back when, like as a potential Ultron cameo. This one he could legit show up again because this one is said to have like almost every character that's been like every major player that's been in the MCU through the Infinity Saga, and Ultron was the big bad of an Avengers movie. So I'd be kind of shocked if he doesn't come back, but I can't wait to see either way.
Yeah, I mean, if Ultron like succeeded in creating a cataclysmic event, again, we're assuming that he actually won in Age of Ultron. You kind of expect him to be there, especially because like at that point, yes, he was only in the robot form. He wasn't in the internet, but maybe he was. Maybe Vision didn't work. Like there's a lot of questions with that. It's like, what if he became
Vision?
Yeah, like what if he actually got the body? Because he manages to capture Black Widow after like they get the Vision's body into the Quinjet. What if he grabbed them both? We don't know.
Wow. Yeah, this show, it could go in so many different directions, just like Loki could, but even on an even bigger scale.
And Loki's like time travel. This is like multiverse. You're like
time travel and multiverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and this show is supposed to have, I think, 10 episodes. I think it's been confirmed by Feige. So yeah, get ready for some wild ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think is this half an hour?
They haven't said specifically yet, I think.
Okay.
I would guess half hour, but I wouldn't be mad at an hour either.
I'd be psyched if it was an hour.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about Loki too is one other quick little tidbit about that. We saw that the first 2 episodes are 51 and 54 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
And then there was another what if leak. It was a toy leak, I think, that tied into Iron Man. So, I mean, we kind of expected Robert Downey Jr. to come back because of the clip in the trailer where he's eating the donuts in the giant donut.
One of my favorite scenes in Iron Man 2.
I feel like I would do that if I had an Iron Man suit.
Oh, I absolutely would do that. Randy's donut. I'm gonna have to ask you to exit the donut.
Right? Like you just do like eat McDonald's on the arch. Like you just have to do
Oh
all
yeah,
that
exactly.
stuff.
Totally. Like eat Burger King on top of the logo. Everything.
Right? But yeah, this toy leak is actually, it leads to something that could be really, really interesting, really cool. Do you want to talk about it a little bit, Bryce?
Yeah, so we've got Lego does it again. Lego's been really good at doing these toy leaks for Marvel. I'm
For
not
a
necessarily
while, yeah.
complaining, but it's basically what if Iron Man's Iron Man in the Hulkbuster armor went to Sakaar instead of Hulk. And Sakaar is the planet from Thor Ragnarok with the Grandmaster's Arena. And basically included in the set are Tony Stark, the Hulkbuster armor, Valkyrie, and the Watcher. So so it's interesting. So so Valkyrie is there, no Thor, but I'm assuming it sounds like the only change is that Iron Man replaced Hulk. So do we think Thor is going to be involved in this episode as well?
I was gonna say I'm not sure. It'll be interesting whether he like replaces the Hulk or replaces Thor.
No, he's replacing
No,
Hulk.
he's replacing Hulk. If he's got the Hulkbuster armor, I assume he
Yeah,
somehow
that's a fair
ended
point,
up
yeah.
there.
No,
Yeah.
So, but I guess it could be before Thor got there.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So
that would make sense.
But I do think it is interesting that the Watcher is included as a minifigure in this set. So will the Watcher actually be going to some of these places, or what do you...
They did say in the D23 article, right, that he gets kind of more involved as the series goes on.
Yeah.
So
which we
maybe
didn't expect.
this is I mean, like I love that they called him like the Rod Sterling of the show.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Fantastic. And the fact that
Full
he kind of gets
Zone.
Right, and the fact that he gets kind of pulled into it, like maybe this is a later episode.
Yeah. Well, and it'll also be interesting to see like what order they go in terms of the movies, because like we know that the Captain Carter episode is going to be the first one, which is like pretty early in phase 1, and then
are they going in order?
Yeah, exactly. Like what order are they going in with the movies? Because Ragnarok's the 16th, 17th movie, and so. That's one thing, like, we don't know from any of our leaks, any of these.
I mean, keep in mind, there's still a second season to go off of, so I don't know if they're necessarily going in order.
Right.
Because, if there's a second season, you would think that, Thor Ragnarok stuff would be in that.
That'd be season 2 if that was working. No, I don't necessarily think they're going to go in order, but I wouldn't be shocked to see maybe leaning into some of the earlier stories first, like maybe Party Thor is a little bit earlier, because that is kind of disconnected. I think this being set before like Ragnarok would have been set is like that makes sense to me, because we never really saw Thor. We never saw Hulk build those relationships and stuff, and now we're going to with Iron Man. Like it's a weird way to do it. It's super cool too, because I love Iron Man, so the fact that we're gonna get more Iron Man, I'm so happy about. And the fact that Tony's basically going to take over this world is freaking hilarious.
That sounds amazing.
Oh my gosh. I can't. We have to have like Tony Stark and freaking Jeff Goldblum. Like we have to.
Oh God, absolutely. And Jeff Goldblum has basically confirmed that he's coming back. So
good.
Jeff Goldblum is amazing.
Oh my God, Robert Downey Jr. and Jeff Goldblum in the same MCU project. Gimme.
In the same episode.
Right.
And we have to have his like assistant. She was so funny.
Oh yeah, totally.
The slaves have escaped. I don't like that term.
Sorry, the prisoners with jobs have armed themselves.
Okay,
that's better. What's
the word I'm thinking of? It starts with a B. Garbage.
Trash.
No, that doesn't even start with a B.
Booze hag.
So good. I just want to show her. Like we just
right.
Show her.
And we have to get her back, because in this one she's not dead. So
amazing. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, like these are like they're like we know again from D23 that we have like Captain Carter coming. We know we got Party Thor. We've
Star Wars T'Challa.
Yeah, this like interesting post-apocalyptic Black Widow, like you said, Star Wars T'Challa.
Captain America zombie.
Yeah,
That was in
Captain
the
America,
trailer
Zombie
too. That's
Cap.
gonna
Oof.
see.
Evil
We got
Doctor Strange.
yeah, we got Iron Man. Like we got a lot of teasers in the trailer, and then these
You,
are just like adding to that. So
I just
what
kind of,
if's gonna be crazy.
I just kind of thought of this, and I have no
Okay.
reason to believe this, but
Okay.
how cool would it be if What If did sort of the typical cartoon segment thing where they have 15 minutes of that's one segment and then 15 minutes that's the other segment, so we get kind of like two What If scenarios in an episode. That'd be so cool.
Mm,
I don't think that they're doing it, but I think that would be really awesome.
That would
that
definitely be interesting. The only reason that I would be maybe a little sad about that is I want at least 30 minutes on each of these
Oh
stories.
yeah.
I'd be really happy if it was maybe an hour-long episode with
Yeah,
30 minutes
do
of that.
Oh, that'd
That'd
be
be
30-minute
cool.
segments. That I'd be
Yeah.
great with.
Definitely. Yeah. I'd be totally good with that.
But yeah, that's kind of our what if news. Stay tuned because we are going to be, I'm sure, talking about what if
For a
like
little while.
a
Yeah.
while. I don't see us go like shying away from what if because like
Yeah.
you could probably tell we're all really excited.
Yeah. And plus, it's the next show coming after Loki, which starts in 2 days. So,
Yeah, that's crazy.
right.
And then we had another exclusive drop that is like Marvel-ish, Marvel adjacent. So we're going to touch on it a little bit here. Richard, if you want to go into that.
Yeah, this one won't be too long. So this was originally a Marvel property called Red Sonja. That film is being developed for it now with actually a former Marvel actor, Hannah John Kamen, playing the main character Red Sonja. And right now for this one, there is an offer out to, and I absolutely love this because I love the guy, Sacha Baron Cohen, to play a key role in the movie. Now the role is the name is Kulan Gath. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
And who he first appeared in the 70s with the Marvel's run with Conan the Barbarian, and then he later appeared in some X-Men stories before this whole universe kind of went off on its own thing. Who'd you say it was owned by now, Caitlin?
I think it's Dynamite Comics is who publishes
yeah.
it now.
Yeah, I think that's what you said. So basically, so the offer right now is out to Sacha Baron Cohen to play that role. And I mean, this is Borat and Talladega Nights we're talking about. So like, yeah, I mean, if he ends up in this movie next to Hannah John Kamen, I mean, something pretty cool.
I mean, like the thing that I'm so excited for is her. I've loved her since her like rinky-dink sci-fi show called Killjoys.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and then when she was in the MCU, I was like, yes. I'm like hoping we see Ghost again at some point.
Yeah,
because
she was actually not a bad villain. I'll give her that.
She was really interesting because she wasn't a full villain. She was like a victim.
Yeah,
exactly. She was both.
So I'm really excited that she gets to basically headline a comic book movie now.
Yeah. And good for her because she's taken on comic book movies left and right.
Yeah, she's a badass. So no, I think this is gonna be very cool. I mean, I like that we're getting some of these more fantasy-based comic book stuff. I always am excited when we've talked about this. I'm excited when we dive into other genres and we have kind of superhero movies that dive into other genres. And this is like superhero-ish, but it's more fantasy-based. So I think it's super cool, and the fact that we have a Marvel actress leading it is going to be really exciting, and I hope that gets people like into it. So no, I think this is really awesome, and like you said, this is a very like interesting and cool casting choice.
Yeah, it would definitely be something kind of new for Sacha Baron Cohen. I mean, obviously we know him for the comedy stuff over the last 10, 15 years, but this would be kind of a new thing seeing him in a superhero movie.
I feel like comedians do really well with crossover into this stuff.
Oh yeah, well, especially like I know this isn't a Marvel movie, but especially like with Marvel movies and stuff, just because they lean a lot on the comedy. God, like how long is it till you see like, well, James Franco already did the Spider-Man movies, and like how long till we see like Seth Rogen and those guys get in on this?
Oh
Seth
man,
Rogen was the Green Hornet.
He was the Green Hornet.
Oh man. But in some more like typical Marvel news, Avengers Campus is opening officially on Monday. No, it's opened officially.
2 days ago, yeah, June 4th.
Yeah. So it is officially open. The robot Spider-Man is badass. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, the little spider bot.
Yeah, not even little. It's like it looks. I think it's
Oh
like
yeah,
legit
no, it's
life
like
size.
it's probably about that big or so, like probably a good foot long or something.
No. I'm talking about the Spider-Man himself one that's flying across the buildings.
Oh, yeah. No, I saw that last night. That was super cool.
Crazy. So Avengers Campus had their big launch live stream, and like a lot of the Avengers showed up at their launch, which is very cool. I love Shang-Chi's lead actor is like, yeah, I had to show up for 5 minutes to like for the photo shoot part. Then I got to go on the Spider-Man ride. You're just like, you're amazing.
He's quickly becoming one of my new favorite MCU actors, and we haven't even seen him in the MCU yet.
So excited. I love it.
Me
but
too.
Yeah, I mean, Avengers Campus looks awesome. I honestly, I think we should talk a little bit about what we're most excited for, because we have to go at some point.
Oh God, all of it. I know Caitlin and I are in California. All of us will be going to Avengers Campus at some point. I am driving 500 miles to go there. I don't care how long it takes.
Sleep is for the weak. I need to go to
Avengers
Campus.
Yeah. Well, the good thing with me is Tahoe is only about an 8-9 hour drive, so I can get there in a day. But
it's only 9 hours.
Yeah.
I could probably fly there in a day.
Yeah. I've road tripped from Boston to Reno in 5 days. That's nothing. So.
But ride wise, I think there's the Spider-Man like web slinger.
That's the one I want to do.
Me too. Like Astro Blasters meets Spider-Man.
Yeah, and like Toy Story Mania a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't use a gun or anything. You use like your hands, so it's really cool.
I know. I can't wait to see how the mechanics of that work. Like what you actually do on the ride.
And then I think, is that the only ride there right now?
I think that might be the only ride, but there's the Pym Test Kitchen, which is the crazy, weird shaped and sized foods and everything with the giant meatballs and
I need to go back to Disney
and the tiny stuff, right?
Oh man,
I mean the Pym's Test Kitchen is just, you're like, that's such a weird move, but right? I love it.
Me too. Well, especially because like the thing that I'm most excited about with this is that Kevin Feige said at the opening ceremonies that this thing is never actually going to be complete because of everything coming out of the MCU. Like, it's always going to be changing. There's always going to be stuff that they're adding to this. So I'm betting we'll see more rides other than Spider-Man. We've got the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout.
They're planning something with the Quinjet, right?
Yeah, I think so. That'd be super cool. And like, I love how Kevin Feige said this is like the only place in the world that you can see like an actually fully formed Quinjet in person.
Yeah. No, I mean the other ride is like Guardians of the Galaxy, which has existed.
Yeah, which they reimagined from Tower of Terror.
And it's awesome if you haven't gone on it. I know Richard is not a big fan, but
my Richard is a big fan. Richard's stomach is not a big fan.
Richard's stomach's like, please.
Like, stop. But
like,
no.
Yeah, so you can go on Web Slinger like 6 times. I'll do 3 and then go on mission on
Hell yeah.
Guardians.
And that's not saying anything bad about the Guardians ride. I mean, the technology looks great. The videos are fun. They did a great job, decorating the inside. I didn't see actually a ton of the movie stuff on the actual ride part because I was trying not to puke, but but it sounded awesome.
Yeah, the music kills it. The music's awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, they have Pym's Test Kitchen. They have the shawarma cart.
Yes, they have 2 shawarma carts.
It's so funny to me because it is such a throwaway thing.
Right, exactly. Like, they literally filmed that scene after the movie had actually come out.
They have Terran Treats, which obviously is tied to Guardians of the Galaxy. They've got like obviously like the fun stores that you're going to get to go to the second you leave the ride and walk into the gift shop.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like right there, you'll get there in 30 seconds.
Right. And then they have the Ancient Sanctum, which is going to be very Doctor Strange.
I can't wait to see that.
And then they have Avengers headquarters. And I mean, one of the things that's so interesting to me about this and the fact that it's opened up before Black Widow is Taskmaster's supposed to be like in this.
Okay.
Right?
In Avengers HQ?
Yeah, he's like part of the show in like
wow.
Avengers Campus. So I'm like, is he yet? Are they waiting?
Are they doing him now, or are they going to wait till Black Widow comes out?
Right? I mean, one of the things Feige has said, and the guy who's in charge of the parks has said, is that they have characters from the movies and stuff. So when those shows and movies drop, those characters, they're essentially waiting around the corner. They're ready to come into it. So I think, like, it's like you said, this is never going to be done. And I think that's just kind of that cool magic of Disney. I hope that the Star Wars land kind of leans into this a little bit, where
I hope so.
It leans into the movies and TVs a little bit, and it feels like it's never done. Because, I mean, I think Avengers Campus is one of the Disney things that I'm like, there's a lot of new Disney stuff. This is one of the ones that I'm maybe most excited for, because Feige's like, oh my God, I get to make a land.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, this
I
is
get
like
to make a land.
Feige literally said this is like his dream come true. So like the fact that he is so excited, and like that's the thing I love about Kevin Feige, going on a quick tangent. Like, he is as big a fan of these movies as anybody, and that's what you need, like, at the top of your food chain, making these things.
Yeah, 100%, completely agree. And I mean, the other thing that I will forever love about Avengers Campus is this is a magical world where none of the characters have died.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because there's been a few deaths at the MCU.
I just want a picture with Iron Man. Like, he's fine. Oh yeah, exactly. He's fine.
The fact that they released Avengers Campus 2 years after Iron Man died in the movies, and that he's still going to be a big part of it, is pretty impressive.
And Captain America, I think, like, Sam Wilson's Captain America, that was introduced, but I wouldn't be shocked to also see Steve Rogers' Captain America walking around.
Well, it's got 2 badass suits, so we gotta see it.
Think about how crazy cool that is that we could potentially have 2 Captain Americas, like, hanging out.
Right? Yeah. That'd be super cool. And like I said, the guy who was rocking Sam's suit in the opening ceremonies looked awesome. That was good looking suit.
And I mean, I'm very quickly going to jump back on Pim's Test Kitchen. That food looks ridiculous.
It does. But it's Disneyland. All the food is ridiculous.
This is like a giant chicken with, like, dinner roll buns.
Like, the buns are like a couple inches wide, and it's a foot-long chicken or whatever.
And then the one is like a giant meatball the size of your fist, and they use, like, the little noodles you'll find in, like, minestrone.
Oh my God. I can't wait to eat something from it. And then they've got like a foot long, or like 2-3 foot long sandwich or something to split between however many people.
And they have, like, crazy, it's Disney, so they have crazy, not, like, stuff. Like, don't they have something with, like, the Thanos's, like, gauntlet, basically? Like,
probably. They have to.
Or something?
They have to.
I love it. Yeah. I'm so excited. It's just.
Me too.
Avengers Campus is open. Disneyland is open. We're getting there, guys.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome. And the biggest thing is, I can't wait to see what other rides come out of this too. Like you were saying earlier, because right now we got the Spider-Man ride and Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. So I'm sure there's going to be more rides to come over the years.
And I just want to see all these characters and explore. Like, I'm really hoping we get to. There's almost like a thing where you can explore the different histories and stuff. Like, what if you got to kind of look at the history of Wakanda at something?
That'd be so crazy. Cool.
Right?
That would be awesome.
So no, I mean, there's a lot they can do with this, and I'm hoping they tie in, like, if they find a way to tie in, like, some of the what if stuff, like if you can do Thor and Party Thor, that's gonna be freaking hilarious.
So good. No, they've got like 4 different versions of Thor that you can do. They've got Party Thor, they've got regular Thor, they've got Endgame Thor, and now you have freaking Love and Thunder Thor, which we'll get into later. But yeah,
I love short hair Thor, like from Ragnarok.
Exactly. Oh, that's a 5th one, is short hair Thor.
Right? Just you have, like, all the Thors.
Oh my God.
The evolution of Thor.
Yeah.
Oh God. Right. That'd be great.
And then we've got some fun She-Hulk news that we're going to talk about a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, Bryce.
So Mark Ruffalo is seen on the set of She-Hulk in his in his little CGI outfit,
classic,
or whatever. Next to that's Tatiana Maslany, right?
It was
Yeah.
actually I think it was another actress. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it was the actress who posted it. I think
Okay.
it was like a
Oh.
stunt
Yeah, I
person
don't
or
know. I don't
something.
think I know what
No.
Tatiana Maslany looks like, so that was
She does not look like what you expect in this. Like if you've seen Orphan Black, she doesn't look like any of the clones.
No, exactly.
But yeah,
which
it's
is
cool.
kind of crazy.
It's cool to see Mark Ruffalo on set. I'm excited to see what kind of role he is going to have in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
It's the first time we're going to see him since Endgame.
Mhm.
So, and I'm assuming he's still going to be what
In
was it,
this-
Professor Hulk?
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
God, I'm
Yeah.
hoping not. This confirms an exclusive that we had back in March of 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, a while back.
Yeah. Oh man, I hope he's not Professor Hulk. I don't like Professor Hulk. He's creepy.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I'm torn on it. I mean, I just hope he's more useful this time around.
More useful. He saved everyone.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I love you're like, I hope he's more useful. It's not like he did the snap and brought everyone back. Like you can erase that from your head. You're like, I don't like him.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, he
Or
did
he's-
blow out his arm for that.
He's literally the reason why everyone is
That's actually a fair point.
He's literally,
So you're on my
he's
side. You
literally
don't
like the
him.
Flash from Zack Snyder's
Yeah,
Justice League, where he
oh my
saves
God.
every single
Oh my
member.
God.
Oh my God. I love that
Oh.
so much. I hope he's more useful. AKA, he was annoying. I didn't like him that much.
Yeah, he was
Are
fine.
you kidding me? Dude, that scene
no.
where when
I mean, that was
after
incredible.
Natasha dies and he throws the chair.
I mean, that was great. That was a great scene. But yeah.
Like that alone was
In the
great.
restaurant, he was creepy. I didn't like his introduction in the restaurant.
Didn't he dab? That was awesome.
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah,
playing
it's clear
Fortnite.
that they made that.
He was
It's funny.
playing Fortnite with Korg. That was great.
That movie is so 2017 for the fact that it takes place mostly in
is.
2023. It's hysterical. It's
I
like
also-
Fortnite and Hulk dabs.
Yes,
I will say
that was
it's
that was
sort of
that was probably the best Hulk scenes in the entirety of the MCU. But Hulk dabbing and playing Fortnite.
I did love like the time travel thing when they tried it with
That
Scott. It
was
like turned him
great.
into a baby, an old man, and everything. And Hulk's like, "That went great."
Time
Also-
travel.
Also, Richard, you're gonna get a kick out of this. I don't know if you noticed, but in Avengers Endgame, they also must have had a PlayStation 5 shortage because Korg was playing on a PlayStation 4 controller
Oh yeah,
in
totally.
2023.
Yep. Which might actually be the case, but
So
we
someone
digress.
with like one of my favorite usernames ever, E=MCU, fantastic.
That's amazing.
Said
I wish I had thought of that.
he has to be Professor Hulk, but after helping his cousin, maybe he won't be anymore. That would be really interesting.
That would actually make for a really interesting story point because, like, we know that he's going to have to help Jennifer Walters actually become She-Hulk at some point. I assume we're going to see the origin story, but that would actually be really interesting if maybe he stops being Hulk when she turns into Hulk.
Well, maybe not stops being Hulk, but stops being Professor Hulk. Like maybe he loses that amount of control.
Yeah, maybe.
So interested to see what they do with Hulk and Abomination because we know he
Yeah.
back. So what version of Hulk is it? Because if it's Professor Hulk, maybe he loses his cool.
I think this is already easily going to be the best Hulk property we've gotten in the MCU because, like, the original movie was fine enough, exactly. But I mean, now that they have it,
basically MCU adjacent at this point.
yeah, exactly. It happened like it's in the timeline, but especially because of the whole Edward Norton, Mark Ruffalo thing, it doesn't exactly like feel MCU.
It also doesn't feel tonally MCU.
Right, exactly. Like I said, it's a fun enough movie, but it really doesn't feel like it's barely in the same universe as the MCU.
I love that our first Hulk property in over a decade
Yeah,
is a sitcom.
that's amazing. Like
That
The
is true.
Office meets the Hulk.
Right? Like what is happening? And I'm so
Seriously.
excited for it. Like you're like, "Oh, we're doing a Hulk sitcom." I'm like, "Great."
Give me.
Oh yeah, but yeah, seeing Mark Ruffalo return, like we kind of knew that already, but really
We
having
knew
that
it.
confirmation is nice, and the fact that he's going to be in his motion capture suit
Yeah.
means like we're getting Hulk. We're not just getting Bruce Banner, you know?
Yeah, and like
So-
we knew about it from our exclusive from a while ago, and then Kevin Feige confirmed it at Disney Investor Day. But it's just great to see like visual confirmation of him being on set.
100%.
Yeah.
I get that he's probably Professor Hulk, at least at the start, but I really love the dichotomy of Hulk and Bruce Banner, and I liked it a lot in Thor Ragnarok because Hulk had built a life without Bruce.
I like that. Yeah, I hope that we get back to that at least a little bit in
Me too.
in this. Like, I'm sure at the beginning we're gonna get Professor Hulk because the how we last saw him.
He's
but
also more comedy based as Professor Hulk.
Oh yeah, exactly. Which fits perfectly into this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I maybe he'll play like what video game do we think he'll play? Do you think he'll play Fall Guys in
God.
this one or like Among Us?
Among Us.
Among Us would be hysterical just because of the
He's
fact that
got a
it's
phone
the
out
Hulk.
and he's playing Among Us.
Hulk is sus.
Fantastic.
And then
Oh my
what's the new dance that everybody's doing?
I have no idea.
Does anybody know
No
what
idea.
TikTok
That's your territory, Bryce.
I'm
gonna
not
say
on
you're
TikTok.
20 something.
Hey,
Right? Yeah.
E equals MCU. If you're still in the chat, what's the latest TikTok dance? Let us know.
Right? Let us know.
So sorry that you got asked to do that.
Oh my god.
And then moving on to another of our longer MCU characters. This is so crazy that a lot of the like kind of initiating characters are just not here anymore.
Right? I mean, you expected it, but it's like it's still weird.
So sad.
Right?
Paul Bettany is not under contract.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's coming
But-
back to me.
He has to. Why would you set up White Vision?
Yeah.
And like, you know what the funniest thing I find about that is I was just thinking about this. Elizabeth Olsen said the same exact thing about hers. Like, she's basically one project at a time.
Well,
So-
she signed on for like a movie and like
Exactly.
2 other things, right?
I think she said it was just a movie at a time, mostly for her. And that's kind of like
Yeah.
how it's been the whole time. But yeah, I mean, no, seriously. I know our friend Brandon over the Illuminerdi hates White Vision.
He loves White Vision. That's his favorite character. No, if you go back and watch our first WandaVision watch along, he called
That
it.
was
It was so
amazing. Like, it was an amazing watch just because of his reaction, but
So bad.
his just like pure hatred of it was hilarious.
He called it before the episode started. He's like, "Oh, I hope they're not doing White Vision."
Actually, I can do a really good. God, I hope they don't do White Vision.
Boom! White Vision is the like post
Like,
credit
oh
scene.
no.
Yep, he's so done. He's like, "Why?"
It was great. Shout out, Brandon.
But like, I feel like
Richard has the best Brandon impressions. Like, he literally sounds exactly like him. It is so funny. Like, what you just heard is exactly what Brandon sounds like. So now you know. Now you know what Brandon sounds. That is
but
so
no,
funny.
I mean, Paul Bettany even said himself that like it doesn't really make sense for them to set up White Vision and not do anything about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, they can't have him around just for one big fight scene and then he just dips.
I
Yeah.
love that so much. I got all my memories back, but I don't have the emotions tied to them.
Right?
This seems like a lot. I'm gonna go.
Like, I'm gonna head out.
He's like, I know I love Wanda like logically, but I'm not there emotionally. It's really intense.
Oh.
That whole finale was just. I mean, every other part of WandaVision was absolutely wonderful. I loved that show, but that whole finale was just a mess.
And I will say this: it was probably because of COVID.
No, it
They
definitely
probably
was.
had-
I know
was-
it was. I think
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they had like a whole other episode planned.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, but they did the best job they could given the circumstances. It was still fun enough, but I mean that's
Got
just
a
great show.
robot fight. What else can you ask for?
Yeah, exactly. But it's funny. If Paul Bettany's done, I wouldn't be shocked, but I hope we get him back for something.
I'd be sad that they set up an entirely new character and didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, that's what I'd be bummed about too.
I mean, I think he's someone that I would be kind of excited to see come back for Armor Wars or Ironheart because he has that connection to Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's really sort of like the
Yeah, but
legacy
does
aspect
he
of the
anymore?
Thor. I mean, again, logically, he has the memories. I don't know that he has the emotional ties.
Yeah.
So I think this is the right place to go into that.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like there's a whole lot of stuff that you can do with White Vision, regardless of how much people may or may not hate him.
I think the majority of people like him. I think it's just Brandon really has this weird
it's because
hatred
he's
for him.
so like passionately against it. And I think that's just why I remember it.
Like, Vision is sort of like, he can be kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
He's just like this philosophical robot. Yeah. You're like, okay.
Dave did a good job with a character like him.
The movies.
Yeah, exactly. And like, and he was fun in the show. I can't deny that. But it would be kind of sad to see Paul Bettany like officially done, because he's literally been around since the first movie.
Yeah, I think he's the longest lasting one right now, right?
Currently, yeah. Unless Pepper comes back.
Well, Jon Favreau's coming back for Spider-Man, right? So that'd be like a tie.
Yeah, for sure.
The only reason I think I count Paul Bettany as longer is because like he was in more.
Yeah, he was definitely in more movies.
But I mean, Paul Bettany, he would just go into like a sound booth for a day and then record all of his lines as Iron Man and then go home. You know, I mean,
yeah.
So
well, the first 4.5
that sounds like an amazing job.
Well, yeah,
it does.
but
absolutely.
I mean, Favreau was actually there, and, you know.
Right? No, exactly.
Quick update. E equals MCU has come back with the latest TikTok challenge. Is the I can't stop jiggling dance.
Oh God.
So maybe going back to Hulk, maybe Hulk will be doing that in the She-Hulk series. What do you guys think?
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
That sounds like nightmare fuel.
Oh man.
So we'll look forward to the jiggling dance and She-Hulk. And by the way, if you send a super chat, Richard will actually try to do the dance.
No, Bryce will do it. Bryce will do the dance.
What?
You are the 20-year-old. You will try and do the weird
I'll say,
dance.
I am 30 years old. I have never even seen that dance.
Well, no,
I don't even know what that is. Nope. Bryce gets to do that.
What?
If I'm doing a jiggling dance, I'm going to be doing it from freaking Goonies.
Let's take a vote. Yes, that I would buy. That's awesome. Let's take a vote real quick. Who does the dance? I vote Bryce.
I vote Richard.
Richard's with me.
Oh, damn it. We're not even on video.
I know you're pointing. Richard's with me. Bryce does a dance if that happens. Great.
Oh, Lord.
Moving on to the next subject. Because I can't even handle that.
Nope. We got to move on.
Speaking of Ironheart, we got a little bit of, it looks like maybe an update on when some of that stuff is getting started.
It's good.
Yeah. So we got like a few updates here. So Ironheart is supposed to start filming around April 2022, and then also Echo, which this is interesting. Echo's actually supposed to start filming before Ironheart, and that's supposed to start filming January of 2022. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Like Hawkeye wrapped really recently, right?
Within the last few weeks, yeah.
So having Echo, like that to me means like they want Echo coming out
soon.
Yeah, like relatively like near Hawkeye.
Yeah, well, because Hawkeye is supposed to be, I think, the last show of the year. They haven't given a release date or anything, but it's supposed to be, What If Miss Marvel then Hawkeye? So we'd assume November, December-ish right now. And if they start filming Echo in January, it's probably going to be a 4 to 6 month shoot. I don't know. Maybe they'll do like a Mandalorian Book of Boba Fett thing. Maybe it comes out then like a year following or something. Yeah,
that could definitely happen. I mean, because I think we're sort of assuming Hawkeye doesn't necessarily have a second season, right?
Yeah, I mean, if Hawkeye does, it'll be a movie with Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah,
that could happen.
Like if there's a movie or second season, it'd be Kate Bishop centered.
Yeah, it'd be Kate Bishop more than Clint Barton.
Yeah, so if Echo kind of has her come into it a little bit, that would be an interesting way to do that.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for Ironheart. I think that's going to be really, really cool. I'm really interested in what they're going to do instead of the Tony Stark AI. Because in the comics, it's a Tony Stark AI, like Jarvis style.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm really curious what they're going to do. Because again, it's not going to be Jarvis. So maybe it'll be like Friday.
Maybe. You know what's funny? The thing that's getting me most excited about Ironheart is the girl who's playing her, Dominic Thorne. She didn't even have an audition with Marvel.
No.
Like, I think they called her up and basically like offered her the role after only seeing her in a couple of things. I mean, this has got to be somebody really, really good to play Riri Williams.
And she, of course, made the fantastic decision of saying yes. Like,
Duh.
Marvel calls and goes, "Hey, do you want to be the star of this like show?" Your answer is yes.
Like, are you kidding? Yes.
Right? Oh my gosh. No, I mean, it's crazy because Disney Plus, like the lineup this year, we already know is going to be fantastic. But they have so much stuff set up too that we know is going to be great. Like, we still have Secret Invasion, we have Armor Wars, we have Ironheart, we have Echo. Like, those are all still coming. Yeah, those are all still coming down the pipeline. Like, Marvel is set for a while.
Yeah, exactly. And there's still probably a dozen shows we don't even know about yet for like 2024 100%. And 25. Yeah.
That was one of the funniest things with the Falcon Winter Soldier writer and Captain America 4 writers. Like, there's a lot of stuff you guys don't know about. And we're like, we know, but oh boy, what's coming?
I was going to say, like, we've known that for about 5 to 10 years. So,
but also exciting.
Like, holy crap.
Right? And then Doctor Strange 2, I'm really interested in this. The writer for Loki worked on it with Sam Raimi. They basically, he said they basically kind of like did really big rewrites on this with during the pandemic.
Yeah. And like, that's the interesting thing is like, we don't know if it was because of the pandemic or that they just did it during it. Yeah, it doesn't.
I think they just initially it was like he was gonna have 2 months, and then the pandemic hit, so he had more time.
Just probably to try to iron out some details. Yeah, but I mean, of the movies that are coming in Phase 4, I mean, this is easily like right near the top of my list of most anticipated. I mean, we've got the multiverse, we've got America Chavez, obviously we've got the Scarlet Witch coming back.
McGrath.
Shumuk. We're getting a giant green octopus as the villain.
Marvel
sign
Cthulhu.
Me up.
I love Cthulhu. That's so good.
Yeah, no, this movie's gonna be nuts.
And it's got that horror tinge.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see Marvel dive into horror, especially before Blade.
Yeah. Plus, we get the guy who directed the first 3 Spider-Man movies doing an MCU movie.
That's pretty crazy.
Like, hell yeah.
Which, I don't know if you knew this, but that automatically means that Tobey Maguire's in the new Doctor Strange. So,
well, definitely means Bruce Campbell is. Like, that's happening.
I so want to know what he's doing. Bruce Campbell's hilarious.
I love Bruce Campbell.
Oh, man.
I'm in a place shooting a thing. Thanks, dude.
Oh, my God, that's great. You know what? Go to him for a second. I don't know if either of you guys ever played the Spider-Man 2 video game back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's the narrator in that game, and it makes the game so much more fun. There's this one part in the beginning where he goes, "Okay, so the next thing I want you to do is jump off the building." I mean it. Just jump.
Just
jump. I wouldn't tell you to do something dangerous or life-threatening, would I? It's like when you're just learning how to play it. It's amazing.
It was like Miles Morales, where they're like, "You just got to do it, kid. It'll work."
Right?
Not good advice.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. No, so I'm really interested to see what this means. Because, I mean, like, we know McGrath is in it. Was that different?
Right.
So that's going to be really interesting. Another Doctor Strange 2 tidbit is Scarlet Witch is going to have her accent. I'm so excited for Scarlet Witch to have her Sokovian accent again.
That's great.
We saw it really bleeding in during WandaVision, which I think is super cool. So the fact that we're going to get that version of Scarlet Witch is going to be really interesting because it kind of turns into what does it mean that she has her accent back?
And I love the fact, too, that Agatha, like, directly pointed it out as she was in the basement with her. Like, because that's really been, like, a topic of discussion over the last few years. Like, we know why it changed, but it'll be interesting to see, like, how it varies and comes and goes and everything. And I'm excited to hear it again in this one.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think it's going to be I mean, we keep saying this is one of our most anticipated, but then like you take a step back and you're like, oh wait, all of them are one of our most
Yeah.
anticipated.
I mean, we can't wait for all of them, but this is easily near the top of all of our lists.
Like, I'm so excited for Black Widow for so many reasons, and then I'm like, oh, I'm really excited for Shang-Chi though, because I don't really know what that is as
And
much.
then there's Eternals, and then there's
Right?
Spider-Man No Way Freaking Home.
Oh my gosh, no, Marvel knows what they're doing. They're fine.
Marvel has us hooked. They're good.
And then another movie that's definitely in our most anticipated ranking, Thor: Love
yeah.
and Thunder.
Yeah.
That I don't even know what to do with that. It's just gonna be hilarious.
What is Chris Hemsworth at this point?
Yeah.
Like there's no way he's an actual human person.
Yeah. I mean, and then the fact that Taika Waititi's back and directing it, I think that just makes it even better. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
they need to keep Taika around for a long time because he did
Yes.
such a. I mean, he literally turned the entire Thor franchise around.
He saved it.
Yeah. And
yeah, people love Thor because of Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the first movie isn't bad per se. It's just I think it's kind of expected. Like
If you put it up against the other first Avenger movies, it's not gonna stand out.
Exactly. It's definitely one of the weaker ones. It's not a bad movie per se. It's just not like a standout.
Yeah.
Ragnarok is a standout. Like that's arguably one of my top 5 MCU movies.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's just so fun. Taika Waititi gets who Thor is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like especially
And Loki.
Exactly. I don't know if Loki's gonna be in this movie. I would guess not, but no. But and that's gonna suck. But I mean, we get Korg back, and he's one of my favorite MCU characters.
Where is the Korg Disney Plus show?
Seriously, that has to happen.
Don't even kid. You know it'll happen.
Yeah.
I hope so.
What we need is a show with Korg, Louise, and whoever else you want to throw in there.
No. What if Korg joins the Guardians?
Ah, yes.
That would be perfect.
Great.
But no, so Thor: Love and Thunder has officially finished filming. They posted a picture in celebration, and Chris Hemsworth's arm looks like a tree.
Yeah. Like
it's for sure bigger than Richard's head.
Oh, absolutely. Which means it's
probably
bigger than all of our heads.
Yeah.
Like the reality behind it, I think, is that Chris Hemsworth is also doing the Hulk Hogan biopic.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure, I would just guess that he's just keeping his figure from that for Love and Thunder. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't make it any less like holy shit, this guy is that. You look at pictures of like what he looked like in Thor, what he looked like in Ragnarok, because he wasn't this big in Ragnarok.
No.
Yeah, he was gonna be a little more muscular than he was in the other ones, but his arm is a freaking cannon.
Yeah. I mean, in like Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Like, got ripped for this too. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah. I was joking around with one of my friends on Twitter. This is Avengers End Games.
Nice. No, I mean, Thor: Love and Thunder, it's kind of in that same, it really feels like, unless it's kind of newer characters, they're going full tilt into the team up movies, which I'm digging. Because I mean, like we said, Doctor Strange, you're going to have like Scarlet Witch and all of that. Spider-Man, we know we're going to have Doctor Strange come in. This, we have the Guardians. We have the return of Jane Porter, and she'll be Mighty
Foster.
Thor in this. Or Foster, yeah, and she's gonna be Mighty Thor in this, which is
I think you mixed
crazy.
up Natalie Portman with
I did. Yeah. And she's gonna be Mighty Thor, which is crazy cool. We're getting like Melissa McCarthy.
Oh my God, Melissa McCarthy is playing stage hella. Gimme.
Don't you just want to see the real Hella see that and be like, done? Like, now I have to kill all of you.
All right, you're all dead. Like, that does it.
Oh my gosh. But no, I mean, this is going to be a blast. It's like, the fact that they're done filming is, we always get excited about that because it means they're going to be moving into post, and we're just like, we're chugging along. We're getting there. We're going to be seeing this soon. So
yeah, I mean, it comes out next May, I think 11 months actually from today. So I'm betting we'll see a trailer sometime November, December-ish. But it's
maybe
next year's.
with Spider-Man.
That would be cool. That I could see them dropping a trailer with Spider-Man for sure.
Do you sort of hope they're saving the Spider-Man trailer for Black Widow?
That's where I'm leaning, honestly.
I would love if the Spider-Man trailer dropped in theaters first. That would be awesome.
That'd be incredible. No, and one reason why I'm thinking that, because they normally show, I mean, I haven't been to the movies in a year. They normally show, what, 3 or 4 trailers before movies nowadays?
Oh, man. It was like 5 or 6 when I went.
They could easily have 3 Marvel trailers come out before Black Widow. They could do the Shang-Chi one, they could do the Eternals one, and they could do Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
No Way Home.
Save
I always do that because it's home and it's 3 words.
Oh my gosh, Bryce and Venom.
I think I gave Bryce an aneurysm.
Oh man. But yeah, I mean, we had a lot of Marvel stuff to talk about this week, and I'm sure we will again next week because Marvel's not slowing down.
This, especially now, like we've had a 2-month break from content. We are likely to get something every week for the rest of the year, or pretty damn close to it.
We're gonna have overlap. Like Black Widow's coming out while Loki's on. I assume another Disney Plus show is gonna be out when Shang-Chi drops.
Probably What If or Miss Marvel, and then Eternals will probably come out during Miss Marvel or Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Same with Spider-Man. Yep.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're not lacking in Marvel content for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
The rest of eternity, try.
Right.
I mean.
Oh yeah. Specifically right now, but definitely for eternity.
So next week we will be not only talking Marvel news, of course, but we will also be breaking down the Loki episodes and sharing our thoughts and reactions and just squeals of delight.
It'll be great. Give me more Tom Hiddleston.
100%.
Yep.
And we have a little bit of DC news.
What?
This is maybe our least amount of DC news in a while.
We literally have 2 things to talk about.
The first of which is my favorite. We got a Shazam teaser while they're filming.
Yeah.
What the hell?
It's amazing. First off, Zach Levi, yes, love Zach Levi. I've been a fan since like the NBC show Chuck. So the fact that he is a superhero is amazing. The fact that he is this superhero is fantastic because I love the teaser of we saw the new costume. It looks badass. I was really surprised that he got a new costume, not because I don't think he needs one, but because the costume is part of when he changes.
Right.
How does that change?
Yeah. I was also thinking too, Caitlin and I love him from the first Psych movie.
Maybe my favorite part of the entire teaser was Zach Levi going, maybe we should have had a light on. Just one light. It was so amazing. I love that they mocked that.
Zachary Levi is amazing. Like, he's probably my favorite actor in the DCEU.
Was that not like Deadpool level, like fourth wall mockery?
Oh God, absolutely.
So good. I'm excited for Shazam too. Like, that's one of those ones that I'm really quietly excited for because again, that guy's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested to see kind of what they do with this whole Shazam fam thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And plus the cast is just bonkers. Like this movie has Lucy Liu, Helen Mirren. I mean, oh my God.
Yep. They're like, Helen Mirren.
Hopefully The Rock.
They're like, Helen Mirren, you want to be in our DC movie? And she's like, yep. And you're like, great. Okay. You win.
No. This is what the reaction probably actually was. She's like, wait, what, really?
Really?
Like,
oh my
yes.
God.
They're like, you do.
Like,
great.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I guess I'll have to think of a part now. I didn't think you'd say yes.
Right.
Shazam.
Oh my God.
You get to become Shazam. Do a full battle with Zach Levi. Not the character, but Zach Levi. And you get to become Shazam.
Right? Oh, my God.
I was like, what?
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh. No, I mean, like, the costume looks fantastic. Like, there's not much else you can say. It looks good.
Yeah,
it's
really good.
Is it me or does it look more similar to Black Adam?
It kind of, does a
Yeah,
little bit now that I think
little
about it.
bit,
Like Black
yeah.
Adam's from the comics, like how it fits
Yeah.
him more.
And the texture of it.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited. And it like kind of the lightning bolt itself being almost part of the collar, that was
Right.
it kind of teased with Dwayne Johnson, one of his pictures, right?
I think so, yeah.
So that should be really interesting. I mean, that to me is an indicator of, oh, maybe he'll actually show up in like a post-credit scene.
That'd be cool.
For sure.
You
Yeah,
know,
that'd
like,
be great.
maybe it's part of an evolution or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
And then we got a little bit more DC news. Bryce, you were talking about the Flash earlier.
Yeah, so we got a little bit of a sort of Michael Keaton Batman tease for the Flash, which is fun. We got this kind of image of the of Michael Keaton's Batman suit with kind of like a blood splatter
Right.
on it. So we're getting rated R Flash, which is nice. I don't know, but it seems like
Don't
this
say that.
it's looking kind of dark, so I don't
Well,
know.
it is the
I'm excited
DCEU.
to see what they're doing with Michael Keaton in the Flash.
Let's say it's not a DCU movie if you can't barely see it.
If you can't barely see it. Oh
Just
my
like
God.
Zachary Levi said in the teaser.
That's so mean.
Pretty bad.
I mean, this would be something where I'm like, okay, are you full on going Batman Beyond?
Maybe
That's a great question, honestly. Like that honestly wouldn't be a bad path for the DCU to take.
That's so the way they should go. And like having
cool.
like the blood spatter is one of
Right.
those things you have the question of, is it one of the bad guys or is it him? Is it kind of this moment of Batman is not infallible?
It's Ben
Right.
Affleck's blood.
He's bad Affleck. No, just punches him in the
They
face.
have a fight to the death in the movie.
Batman versus Batman.
Yeah.
The one that dies is the one that won because he's not the murderer.
Oh yeah, exactly. Oh Lord.
But no, I mean, weirdly, this gets me a little more interested, I guess, in the Flash because I've been kind of on the fence about it. I don't really know where I'm. Like, I'll see it, obviously, and I'm sure it'll be really interesting and stuff, but I wasn't as connected to this version of The Flash as I am, like, with the TV one. But having this image, I'm kind of like, okay, what are you doing with Batman and The Flash? Because, like, the fact that we see this, again, doesn't mean that we're going to see Batman kind of maybe losing a step or he's kind of gone in a darker direction. Like, we saw that with Ben Affleck's version, obviously, but I assume we're going to get a different version. So, and like Michael Keaton's Batman, he's not crazy dark.
Not really. I mean, he's dark just because he's Batman.
Yeah,
but
not like Ben Affleck dark or anything. So
no, exactly. Not DCU dark.
We also, like, maybe the blood spatter is kind of that Batman has been tainted, you know?
Yeah, that could be a more thematic thing.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of, like, it's a single image, so of course we're just speculating to the moon.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of...
For a movie that doesn't come out for a year and a half.
Right? But there's a lot of really interesting possibilities because this is a powerful image.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, I kind of want them to do Batman Beyond stuff because, I mean, it's a miracle that they got Ben Affleck back for this one. So he's clearly, they're not going to do really much more with him. So Michael Keaton is probably going to be their guy, I guess, for the DCEU if they don't do some weird Flashpoint thing with Robert Pattinson. So, I feel like they're definitely going Batman Beyond route. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Michael Keaton can go back to his own universe, and then Batman Beyond will be set in that. I don't know. I mean, Flash could literally go anywhere. So
yeah,
but
definitely.
I think it's really cool to see the suit back and the blood splatter, kind of teasing some ominous stuff is gonna go down into Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, someone named I don't know if you're related to this one, Kathleen Tyrrell in the.
That's my mom.
She votes for Bryce. She votes Bryce for dancing.
I know. I saw that.
That was mom, great. Go ahead and send a super chat, and I'll make that happen.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Caitlin's mom. Oh,
I was
Hey,
really hoping no one was gonna mention that.
That's the
man.
deal. The super.
Hi, Mom.
If you gotta do a
Yeah.
you gotta do a super
Yeah.
chat to
Hey,
get the dance.
that's
So
hey, my mom did it for Mother's Day, so
Not in the comments.
that's fair. That's fair.
so thank you to
But
Caitlin's mom for joining the show. We appreciate it.
Yep,
but
100%.
but anyways, like that's I mean, this is one of those DCU movies that actually has me kind of curious. Like actually,
Yes, that is the best way to put it. I am
right?
curious.
I want to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe my reactions to this. Like,
Right?
some of these I'm excited for. This one, I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Like here's how I'm feeling about the movies. Suicide Squad, I'm actually legit pretty excited for because it's James Gunn
For
going
sure.
nuts. Black Adam
He's
should
gonna
be
murder everyone too.
exactly. Black Adam should be fun. The Batman looks pretty cool. I'll say that.
Yeah.
The Robert Pattinson one. The Flash looks interesting, and I'm kind of excited for Shazam too.
Yeah. I mean, that's and Aquaman 2 I'm excited for as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
'Cause,
Blackwing in the chat as well. One of my co-hosts on Retro Sentai Wrap Up saying,
What's up?
stopping by, saying hello. What's going on, man?
Hey, Blackwing.
There we
What's
go.
up?
But yeah, Batman, epic, Flash.
Hopefully, we get some good Batman. And you know what? I'll say this: Ben Affleck's Batman wasn't. It was maybe one of the highlights of Batman v Superman, if you want to call it that.
I think so. Yeah.
And I'm
Caitlin
not,
disagrees, but I think so.
God knows
like
I'm not
Ben
saying that's a
Affleck
good
as
movie
Batman.
at all. Trust me, I'm not saying that.
I think
But-
the highlight of Batman v Superman was the credits.
Ouch.
I wouldn't go that
Damn.
far, but no, I think Ben Affleck was definitely
I'm closer
a highlight
to you
of
on that
movie.
one though.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got two chances at a really good Batman coming up with Robert Pattinson and Michael Keaton. So I hope they at least get one of them really good.
I'm more interested in Robert Pattinson than I expected.
Yeah.
Me too, weirdly enough.
Yeah. No, he's going to be a good Batman, I think. And I think he
he's
signed
gonna
a
shock people.
first look deal with Warner Brothers, so they want to keep him around for a while.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I like that we're doing like essentially Batman year 2 because we don't really ever get to explore that a lot.
That's like the earliest we've seen Batman.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm excited. Plus, it's got that more detective aspect of it that I always love with Batman. So
Yeah.
I think it's
For
gonna be
sure.
really interesting, and I'm really excited for how it's gonna tie into the Gotham PD show because
Mhm.
it's kind of that's the year 1 Batman. So I'm assuming we're not really gonna see Batman, but he's almost kind of this urban legend.
Mhm.
Yeah, like a myth kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
That'd
be cool.
excited. I'm
For sure.
excited.
Maybe we
for
get
that.
some like silhouettes.
Yeah, right.
Or
the
maybe
Bat-
we get
cape.
Bruce Wayne, but not Batman.
Yeah, maybe.
So
Or the bat signal in the sky, and that's like kind of it.
Mhm. Yeah, I almost feel like with the Flash, Batman Beyond is the way to go because you have this early version of Batman, and then to see the version of Batman that's like had to retire and is essentially creating a new Batman would be
Mhm.
a really cool dichotomy to have, and really leans into what we all have said we think DC should do is just like full on multiverse.
Elseworlds,
Do it.
multiverse. Yeah, for sure. Here's hoping.
Yeah.
there we go.
But man, that's like a comic book image, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, the blood on the logo, pretty solid.
Right? Like you'd expect that in a panel of a comic book. Like that is one of the reasons that
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you got my attention.
Yeah, maybe with like a little more blood on it in the comics, but that is like totally straight out of the comics.
Yeah. So no, I think this is gonna be cool. Yeah, so that is our, I think, big news stuff for the week. Next week we will have a nice double dose where we break down the Bad Batch episode, share our thoughts and reactions, and also break down the Loki episode and share our thoughts and reactions.
Oh, yeah.
Please join me on the Star Wars watch along series on
Thursday.
I got it.
There you go.
At 12:40 p.m. Pacific, where we will be
11:40.
watching.
It's okay.
Please join me on the Star Wars Watch Along episode where we'll be watching episode 6 of the Bad Batch at 11:40 p.m. Pacific on Thursday. and join Richard and I on the Marvel Watch Along show, where we will be watching the premiere of Loki at 11:40 p.m. Pacific on Tuesday. Very excited for both of those. Really hope you guys can join us and join us in the chat on both of those. We've got other great shows on this channel. We have 4 Power Rangers shows, one of which has Bryce on it.
Yeah, what? Me?
We've got the wrestling show that's later tonight. We've got the Riker Maneuver, our Star Trek show. And then, of course, join us back here again next week at 1 p.m. Pacific for It's All Connected. Lot of good stuff coming up, guys. So it's gonna be
a good show.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. Not only next week, but I am very excited for our July shows when we get to cover Black Widow, Loki, and the Bad Batch.
That's gonna be crazy.
Oh man, yeah. I can't wait to see how we pull that one off.
Seriously.
Yep. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Blackwing, Donnie Peterson,
Caitlin's mom.
Yeah, I was getting there. Equals MQ, Mom. For joining us in the chat. We always appreciate it. We love getting to interact and talk with you guys. But yeah, like I said, join us back here next week. Join us on the watch alongs.